so you don't need a scorecard. We'll do that stuff for you. That's tonight. The Yes Network presents New York Yankees baseball. It's the New York Yankees against the Boston Red Sox in the rubber game of a 3-game set from Fenway Park in Boston, Massachusetts. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees baseball along with Ken Singleton and Al Leiter. I'm Michael Kay. Good game for the Yankees yesterday. They win 6-4. Their bullpen was great, and it shows you what a difference a game makes because on Sunday, the bullpen did not do the job. Take a look at the difference in the numbers. They are astounding. 2 2/3 innings on Sunday, 6 hits, and 4 runs allowed. Yesterday, 4 innings, and they did not allow 1 run. And the guy who got some big outs for them looked like the pitcher of old. It looked like 2007 again, Kenny. Jabba Chamberlain.
Yeah, Jabba Chamberlain kind of epitomized the turnaround by the bullpen and really got the job done. He faced 2 batters in the 8th inning. You're going to see the old Jabba here, the Jabba we were used to when he first came up. A blazing fastball to strike out Adrian Beltre and a great slider to strike out J.D. Drew. 2 hitters, 2 strikeouts for Jabba.
And he got the ball to Mariano Rivera to close it out. Tonight's starters, Andy Pettitte goes for the Yankees 14-8, 4.16, and a new Red Sox free agent signing, John Lackey, 11-8 with a 3.83 ERA. Now, Al, there is some concern that Andy Pettitte, because of rain, really didn't get that much action in spring training. Will it manifest itself tonight?
Well, I definitely think Joe Girardi's going to be looking closely. Look, he's 37 years old, a Yankee great. I think this is a good matchup. But because he only had the 8 innings, I think there will be some very close look about that 100-pitch count. I know Joe said 100-pitch count will be it. But look, you know, he's a veteran guy. You want to make sure that he comes out. He's done very well against this Red Sox team. I think it's going to be a good pitching matchup.
Third straight good pitching matchup in this series, as we mentioned, the rubber game. Curtis Granderson's finally experiencing Yankee Red Sox. First time as a Yankee, what a way to break in. Kim Jones will talk to him next on segment 2.
It's the Magic Kingdom Park, and your family's excited to ride everything. So, moment of truth, Mom. Which 3G network would you trust to stay?
Welcome back to segment 2. Tonight we thought we'd give you a little chance to get to know Curtis Granderson a little bit better. I'm going to ask you some rapid fire questions, Curtis. You ready?
Good.
Growing up in Chicago, who was your favorite athlete?
It's got to be Michael Jordan. You know, he was everywhere. I had the Jordan Jammer. I had the 6'6" poster in my doorway, seeing if I could grow to be as tall as him. Never made it, but always had it, though.
Now, who is the athlete you would pay to watch?
I really love seeing Kevin Durant play. I got a chance to watch him play this past winter, and for a team that's trying to get themselves on the map with Oklahoma City Thunder, he's bringing them to the playoffs, and he's consistently just doing it every night.
Favorite movie?
Christmas Story.
What's must-see TV?
Cosby Show reruns, Nick at Night.
How about your favorite sport to watch?
Favorite sport to watch, college basketball.
Did you watch Monday and did you love it?
Definitely. And Butler being in the Horizon League where my college is, you know, in the conference of that, I wanted them to come and win it, but they came up a little short. But, hey, that's part of it. They got a chance to go ahead and play in front of the world.
Favorite city on the road?
Outside of Chicago because I'm from there, but it does count as a road city, though. I'd say probably Minneapolis. Everything's close in walking distance from the hotel. Always like that.
Favorite ballpark on the road?
Anaheim.
Why?
I love the playing surface. I love the fans there. The weather always tends to be good there, and I just really enjoy being there.
What do you think of the rally monkey?
Oh, I love it. When that thing comes jumping up and down there, the fans go nuts there, and you always got to be cautious because they're going to start scoring some runs soon.
You have to talk to Jeter. He doesn't like that thing so much. Curtis, thank you very much.
No problem. Thank you.
All right, the guys in the booth will be right back. Lineups and first pitch are next, right here on Yes.
Gorgeous night here in Boston, unseasonably warm. Another sellout crowd, 553 this will be, and that's a Major League record. John Lackey making his first start for the Red Sox, signing during the offseason as a free agent. And let's take a look at the Yankees starting lineup that he's going to face, and it's presented by Lexus. The captain, the shortstop, Derek Jeter leads off, batting second and DHing Nick Johnson. Mark Teixeira's at first base, he'll bat third. Cleaning up and playing third is Alex Rodriguez. Robinson Cano has gotten off to a good start in the number 5 hole. He'll play second. Jorge Posada will catch and bat sixth. And the bottom third of the order, Curtis Granderson in center, Nick Swisher is in right, and Brett Gardner is in left, batting ninth.
Red Sox pitcher John Lackey, 31 years old, 6'6", 245 pounds, from Abilene, Texas. His statistics is from last year, the 11-8 record, 176 innings. Normally gives more innings than that. He's been hurt the last couple of years. Let's take a look at the pitcher's scatter report for Big John Lackey. Long-term deal. He's signed through 5 years. He'll be signed through 2014, along with Beckett and Lester Matsuzaka. A horse. Since 2003, there's only one other pitcher that's pitched more starts. Is Mark Burley. And you see the Fenway Blues 2-5 here at Fenway Park with a 5.75 ERA and 9 starts.
Well, Lackey is ready. Derek Jeter digs in. And we're ready for baseball here in Boston. Let's do it as Lackey deals. Pitch is inside and low, 1-0.
Lackey fastball curve. So he's got all the pitches. Slider, changeup.
And the 1-0. 2-0. Lackey against the Yankees, including postseason. 5-8, 4.26. 21 appearances, 20 of them starts. Last time he faced them was in the ALCS. Angels lost in 6. That one's fouled away.
One thing I've always liked about Lackey is presence on the mound. He's a tough sort of guy, and you can see the competitive nature that he has just by the way he walks around. Didn't want to come out of that game in the postseason against the Yankees.
Fouled away. You could read his lips. He said, "This game is mine, Soch," something like that. Yeah. And Socha still, Mike Socha, the manager, took him out.
And Darren Oliver came in the first pitch. Can't remember who jacked it, but somebody turned it around. It was Teixeira. A 3-run double.
There's a ground ball to short. Scudero made his first error last night and cost the Red Sox the game. Extended the inning, and then Nick Johnson worked a walk. Let's take a look at the Red Sox highly vaunted defense, brought to you by Mercedes. Ellsbury, Cameron, and Drew in the outfield left to right. In the infield, Beltre, Scudero, Pedroia, and Youkilis. And Victor Martinez behind the plate. Lackey is on the mound. Here's Nick Johnson. Nick Johnson's been to the plate 8 times. Hasn't had a hit, but he has 3 walks and 1 hit by pitch. So his on-base percentage is .500. Last year, .426 for the season.
Yeah, not only the walks themselves to get on base, the number of pitches that he's seen while he's up there. You know, working those base on balls. Wearing a pitcher out for the next hitters.
Grounded softly to first. Youkilis. 2 away.
That was a good curveball from Lackey.
IOTV offers you incredible HD picture and sound. HD is free with IOTV, the official HD service provider for Yankees baseball on Yes.
There's that big curveball Kenny was talking about. John Lackey, velocity down a little bit the last couple years. He's had some elbow forearm issue. But certainly knows how to pitch. And you mentioned about him arguing with Socha that LCS game. He's a guy, that's your front end guy. He's coming in here as a number 3 starter behind Beckett and Lester. But you want your stalwart horses to really want to stay in the game, and he has.
How about the pressure pitching in the American League East? I know the Angels are a good team out in the Western Division, but the East is something special.
Well, you know what? For one, he's going to be facing the Yankees an awful lot, but not only the Yankees. I think the 3 best teams out of the American League is going to be the Yankees, Red Sox, and Tampa Bay. And different intensity here. Something that John Lackey, having grown up in Texas and only played in California, Southern California, good fan base out there, but it doesn't have the same electric atmosphere as a Boston or Philadelphia, certainly New York.
Northeast baseball.
Yes.
He has handled pressure, though. As a rookie, pitched the 7th game of the 2002 World Series against the Giants, won that game, and he said, hey, listen, I played high school quarterback in Texas. We had 20,000 people in the stands for every one of those games. That's pressure. As Mark Teixeira works a walk. IOTV offers you incredible HD picture and sound. HD is free with IOTV, the official HD service provider of Yankees baseball on Yes. Here's Alex Rodriguez. Rodriguez got some grudging respect from John Lester yesterday. He said, I made a really good pitch to him. He hit it off the wall. He said, sometimes you have to give the hitter some credit.
Well, he went to the well once too often, I felt. He got him with 2 fastballs in. A-Rod swung through him, and he tried to do it a 3rd time, and it wasn't quite as good as the previous 2. And plus, Alex recognized it more quickly and got the bat through the zone very fast for the 2-base hit.
That one's driven to center field. Cameron hardly had to move, and that's going to do it in the 1st. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. Yankees nothing, and the Boston Red Sox coming to bat. 37-year-old Andy Pettitte taking his warm-ups, and let's take a look at the Red Sox starting lineup that he's going to face, and it's presented by Lexus. Jacoby Ellsbury's in left field. He'll lead off. Batting second is Dustin Pedroia, the second baseman. Victor Martinez will catch. He'll hit third. Cleaning up and playing first base, Kevin Youkilis. David Ortiz, the DH, 0 for 7 so far, and receiving some criticism here in Boston. He's going to bat fifth. Batting sixth, playing third base, Adrian Beltre. J.D. Drew's in right field, batting seventh. The number 8 hitter is the center fielder, Mike Cameron, and Marco Scutaro, the shortstop, will bat ninth.
And the veteran Andy Pettitte on the mound, 14-8 last year. Very respectable. Almost got the 200 innings mark at 194 innings. 4.16 ERA. There you see it. Just a stalwart pitcher over the years for the New York Yankees. Let's take a look at his scouting report. Perfect. In the postseason last year, he clinched every series, division, LCS, and World Series. His 5th World Championship with the Yankees, 4-0 in those 5 postseason starts, and a true Yankee grade, 192 wins, 3rd behind Whitey Ford and Red Ruffing, and you can go on with a lot of statistics as a Yankee. And no stranger here, 18-9 in his career against the Red Sox with a very respectable 3.74 ERA.
And he will deal to Jacoby Ellsbury. Pitch is high, 1-0.
The Yankees have done a pretty good job thus far in the series against Ellsbury. He's 2 for 10.
There's a ground ball to Cano. And Pettitte covering. He can't get there, and the ball rolls away. And Pettitte hits the turf. Now they're going to want to check on the veteran left-hander. See, he's flexing his neck and looking at his right hand. Steve Donahue, one of the Yankee trainers, comes out to take a look.
And he's going to have to collect himself here. The ball glanced off the glove of Teixeira. And then the race was on, and Ellsbury, one of the quicker players in the league. You can see Andy reaching for the tag, and the collision knocks his glove off, and of course the ball out of the glove. And it looked like Ellsbury was going to be safe anyway, so he's going to get himself an infield hit.
Well, the biggest thing for any pitcher, just
tumble
aggressively falling down. Now watch here, Andy coming up. You want to circle on the line so that you come up the line, just in case if you're a little late, you can have an opportunity to tag him before he gets to the bag. You saw the route that Andy took, based on being just a smidge late. You're not talking about an average runner here. Let's see. Obviously, Ellsbury, 70 stolen base guy, didn't hesitate that much, but now it's a foot race between you and a very fast runner. Had he cut up a little bit more, sometimes you think you realize it's going to be bang bang and you try to tag him before he gets to the bag. He just had a straight route to it, and that's what you try to stay away from, because there was a collision.
Now, what do they exactly teach, Al? They want you to run toward the line about 10 feet from the bag and then make the turn up toward first base, right?
That's right. There's the grass cutout in front of the bag, which is about 10 feet. You want to cut up in this area, and then you run parallel. So if it is bang bang, you could tag him somewhere in here, as opposed to what Andy did. He took a straight line. Now there's a potential collision, especially with a very fast runner in Ellsbury. Watch his route here. Coming straight on. He realized it's going to be bang bang, and now that's straight on. Now he didn't make the cut. At that time, Andy, realizing that he was going to beat it out, maybe he could tag him before he touched the bag.
They score that a base hit for Ellsbury. He's a threat to steal. Andy has that great move to first. And there's a strike to Pedroia.
See if this has any effect on Andy's ability to get the ball down in the zone. Remember, Pedroia is a good high ball hitter. He's had a decent series at 3 for 9.
Now, Andy has always said he's taken it year to year. He doesn't want to sign a long-term contract because then he would feel an obligation to fulfill whatever was remaining. He wants to take it year to year and make a decision at the end of each season. And he's told me he was tempted at the end of last year. He said, how could you finish it any better than that? He was on the mound and got the win in the final game of the World Series. But he still feels that he could pitch, and his family is encouraging him to pitch. But he is hinting that this could be the last year. Last year he was saying the same thing, but I think it is a year-to-year proposition.
I think he came back last year so he could pitch in a new stadium. And as you said, Michael, it couldn't have gone any better.
Well, yeah, ended up winning 14 games, more than respectable. And if he's healthy and his family's behind it, why not?
You know, it's a tough tug of war for a player because, you know, he wants to be with his family, but now his sons are at the age where they love the fact that their father is a pitcher for the New York Yankees, but he's got a younger daughter, and he wants to see her and take part in her life as well. So there's a real tug of war going on, but the sons kind of convinced him, Dad, go back. I always joke with him. I said, well, why don't you make a run at 300? Then you got a chance at the Hall of Fame. He said, there's no way I'm sticking around long enough to get to that. He's got 192 wins as a Yankee.
And I believe it's 229 overall.
That's right.
Yeah.
So he walks Pedroia on 5 pitches.
Well, he's looking back there. Obviously, this we're really far away here. Paul Schreiber, the whole plate umpire. That ball looked like it was right down the middle. Yeah, see, up. Hit Pedroia the first night here. Hit one neck high. Watch where he sets up at the mask. I'm sorry, that's middle of the plate mask. Hitters love to crush that pitch.
I'm surprised Pedroia didn't swing at it.
That's his wheelhouse.
That is.
Here's Victor Martinez with runners on base. First and second, still nobody out. We're in the bottom of the first inning, just underway here in Boston. There's a strike.
Good call right there. Slow Andy down. A little hot. Obviously, his little confrontation with the home plate umpire, asking where those high fastballs. So far, his fastballs have been up in the zone. No pitcher wants to do that, especially in that 89, 90 mile an hour mark.
Another strike.
Down and in, sweet spot for Victor Martinez. Last night, deposited in the Red Sox bullpen.
At the time, he gave the Red Sox a 3-1 lead.
Good speed on the bases. Ellsbury at second, Pedroia at first. Now, Victor Martinez steps out.
You can see how Cano is concerned with Ellsbury. The Red Sox have speedy runners on base. These are the guys that like to move, and Cano is playing very close to second to try and at least feint to keep Ellsbury close. Infield a double play depth anyway with Martinez at the plate, which means they're going to pinch towards second.
Let's see if they turn 2 here. There's one. On to first. Hits and around the horn double play. Good turn at second by Robinson Cano with Pedroia bearing down as Ellsbury moves to third.
You know, one thing I've always liked about Andy Pettit is he's got escapability. You know, he knows he can pick up a strikeout if he has to, and he can get ground ball double plays. And this is a nice one. There's various ways a second baseman can turn it. This time Cano comes across the bag, gets out of the way with the sliding Pedroia on the first to double up Martinez. Sometimes they'll step back. Sometimes they'll use the bag as a guard for them. But that time he decided to come across quickly and make the relay. Cano is a great middleman on the double plays.
Here's Kevin Youkilis. Now, Hall of Fame second baseman and now an ESPN broadcaster, Joe Morgan, has told me that he's never seen a second baseman be able to throw as hard and as accurately as Cano does with that little sidearm flip. He said it's unbelievable. And this coming from one of the greatest second basemen who ever lived. He said, I marvel at what Robinson Cano could do.
You mentioned that about Joe Morgan, Michael, and I was reading an article on the internet this winter. It said Joe Morgan's not only a Hall of Fame, he was a legendary player. And if you look at it, he was a complete player, had power, speed, Gold Glover, stole a lot of bases, legendary player, it said.
Well, with Cano, he was a third baseman. I mean, he's got the power to play any position, but certainly from the left side of the diamond easily. It's a short little flick throw.
The 2-1. Now he's got the left-handed hitting Ortiz on deck. But Ortiz has pretty good numbers against Andy Pettitte, but it looks like he's not giving Youkilis anything around the plate.
Well, Youkilis is off to he's 4 for 7 in this series with 3 runs batted in.
Just missed outside, so now he will face Ortiz. And Ortiz has fallen under a lot of criticism here in Boston for just 0 for 7. This is what he is against Pettitte, 18 for 49, 367 with a home run. But Ortiz kind of went off on the Boston media yesterday because they were questioning him about a slow start. He said it's 2 games, and believe me, I'm cleaning it up. He said this is 2 games and you're asking me now. So this is going to be something that's followed in Boston for a while. He hit 185 last year in April and May. And there are some that think he's not the player that he once was, and he needs to be for the Red Sox the way their offense is built.
You know what? He knows that Youkilis just got pitched around as he steps in there.
And he hits it right into the teeth of the shift. And that's going to do it. So he is 0 for 8. Then he leaves 2 more runners on. No runs, a hit, no errors, and 2 men left. 1 in the books. There's no score at Fenway. It's time for the Toyota text poll. And tonight's question is, will John Lackey be as effective with the Red Sox as he was with the Angels? You can text your vote to 58772. Standard text messaging rates apply. Number 1 is yes. Number 2 is no.
No gray area there, is there? No maybes.
Pitch to Cano is low. 1-0.
This right now, I'm watching both pitchers with a small strike zone with Paul Schreiber behind home plate.
Cano personally has a 13-game hitting streak against the Boston Red Sox. Goes back, of course, to last year. 13 in a row against Boston, including the first 2. He's 4 for 8 in this series. Really hitting the ball hard.
Robinson Cano, one of at least 3 Yankees that have gotten off to great starts in the first 2 games of this series and in the season. Cano's 4 for 8. Posada the same deal. Nick Swisher 3 for 7. Brett Gardner's done a nice job as well. And as we said, Nick Johnson, although he's not hitting, is getting on base.
Cano's home run last night was lengthy. That was one of the longest ones I've seen him hit. Very impressive here in Boston until talking to one of the longtime Red Sox fans here today. They were talking about one that Mickey Mantle hit here. You see the retired numbers out there in right field? Up there against the facing of the upper deck. Mickey Mantle actually hit one up there off the retired numbers.
That's a bomb.
No, that's smoking one.
The 2-2.
And here's Cano's home run last night. While it was a very long home run, it wasn't quite as far as the mix.
(3-2). Hot shot to Pedroia. Stays with the tough hop. And there's one away.
Pitched him soft pretty much exclusively that whole at bat. Everybody knows that Robinson Cano, a great hitter, kind of a bad ball hitter in a sense that can hit the ball hard in any area. Still has protection for A-Rod. He's going to be tested, expanding that zone.
Let's look at the game time weather conditions presented by Bigelow Tea. How about that? 86 degrees.
I think that's a record.
It hit 90, I think, today.
It's just wrong.
What's it going to be in July?
130.
This is great, you guys, after this winter we had.
If this keeps up, they're going to start having spring training in the Northeast. Yesterday, Jorge Posada, the catcher for A.J. Burnett. Burnett lasted 5 innings, gave up 4 runs. Afterward, he was very complimentary of Posada behind the plate. But then he also pointedly said, this is it, guys. I'm not talking about this the rest of the year. He's my catcher. He's going to stay my catcher, and that's the last I'm going to say about it. I don't want to be questioned about it every time there's a game. So A.J. Burnett trying to put it to sleep last night.
Did he? Hopefully, thankfully.
Here's Curtis Granderson.
That was a nice segment, too, tonight with Curtis and Kim Jones.
Yes.
And rapid-fire questions.
Get to know Curtis.
Yeah.
Good guy.
Michael Jordan, his favorite athlete of all time. And she asked his favorite food. Did she ask his favorite food?
I don't remember that.
You like the Huxtables.
Yeah. Chicago-style pizza. He was rooting for, he mentioned basketball is a big part of his life. He likes college basketball, and he was rooting for Butler because Illinois Chicago, the school that he went to, is in the same conference.
The Horizon League.
No.
Popped up, shallow center, backing up Pedroia. Coming on is Cameron, and he'll make the play as the Yankees go down in order 1, 2, 3 here in the second. So we go to the bottom of the second inning, still looking for a run, no score. Hey, there's Kim Jones just hanging out down the right field line. What's up, Kim?
Hey, Michael, how are you?
I'm doing great. Couldn't be better. Beautiful night.
It is.
Great day for baseball. Rubber game of a 3-game set. All's good with the world.
Yes, it is, and all's good with the Yankee bullpen.
I was going to ask you about that. Is Jabba available tonight after his 2/3 of an inning stint yesterday?
Well, here's how I put it to Michael, guys. I said, or to Jabba. I said, Jabba, you threw 9 pitches, 2 fist pumps, and a twirl. You good to go? He said, yeah, I'm fine to go, and it was 1 fist pump. There was just continuation.
High fly ball off the bat of Beltre. Granderson is there for the first out. Now, David Ortiz came up in the first inning with runners on. He made out, so he's 0 for 8 so far in the early season, and he kind of blew up at the writers yesterday, Kim. So what's the newest news on that now?
Yeah, that shift is killing David Ortiz right now. He got a haircut today. You know how guys sometimes try to change the tenor a little? He cut his hair, so maybe that will help. He also had a moment to speak with me. He didn't talk to the media today. He said, I know I'm going to hit. He is confident. I think he's disappointed, Michael. He's disappointed that 2 games in, he's already dealing with this. At the time, he was 0 for 7. His teammates were being asked about it. Victor Martinez and Kevin Youkilis were incredulous, saying, come on, it's 2 games. But already, it's a storyline here in Boston, and you and I both know it's going to continue to be one until he starts hitting.
And Kim, people always talk about New York being a tough place to play. Boston has a voracious media, very good media, and very good newspapers. But they're voracious, and they now are on this story. I think it's going to be a story for a long time until he starts to hit.
Well, and proof of all of that, Michael, Mark Teixeira started this game 0 for 9. No one's asking him about it, and no one should. There's no panic at all with Mark Teixeira. But David Ortiz at 0 for 7, because he started so slowly last year with that below 200 batting average seemingly forever, it is a story. He's sensitive to it. He's in a contract year. This is going to be a story in all of baseball until David Ortiz either hits or until Terry Francona goes with Mike Lowell.
Kim, great stuff as always, and we'll hear from you during the postgame show.
Thanks, Michael.
All right, Kim, thank you. Here's Mike Cameron against Andy Pettit, and there's a strike.
Yeah, but the major difference between Teixeira and Big Poppy from last year, Teixeira went on to be second in the MVP voting. I mean, and when he started hitting, he didn't stop. And his average ended up at a 292. Big Poppy was 238. So there's a big difference right there.
Well, the fact that David Ortiz went off the way he did, obviously it's bothering him. And once it gets in your head, you know this, Kenny, it becomes more of a mental thing. And the reality is you know, David Ortiz is on the older side, and he's got to prove it night in and night out. I mean, anytime you get up in your age and people start watching and seeing the skills decline a little bit, they're going to find reason to wonder if this is the start of the end.
You can go 0 for 9 when you're 30. You can't when you're 34 or 35, because they're going to start to think that it is the end. You can slump when you're young. At the end, they think that, you know, your time is over.
Well, and also, too, they made such an effort of him getting more at-bats. Dave Magadan made sure he got more plate appearances this spring in hopes that he would have a good start. So there was a concerted effort by the Red Sox part, and David Ortiz. He lost a lot of weight coming into camp.
That one's driven out to right field and deep, giving chase Nick Swisher. He's not going to get there, and it bounces into the seats for a double for Mike Cameron.
Yeah, I think bouncing into the seats saved it at base for the Yankees. That might have been a triple with Cameron's speed.
Well, with Cameron on second, let's take a look at the Yankee defense, brought to you by Mercedes. You've seen Swisher in right, Granderson's in center, and Gardner is over and left. Let's go the other way in the infield. A-Rod, Jeter, Cano, and Teixeira. Third to first, Posada behind the plate, and Andrew Eugene Pettit is on the mound.
Pitch out over the plate, kind of up, about belt high, and Cameron goes the other way. Cameron's more or less a pull hitter, but this time he uses the whole field. Nick Swisher was switched around towards the gap in right center, but this time it's down the line. And he's got a long way to go. A lot of ground to cover here at Fenway Park in right field. And one big hop off the warning track and into the seats, and Cameron's first double of the year.
Here's Marco Scutaro. And the pitch is high.
I think another thing, getting back to David Ortiz, and Michael's right. When you get older, they wonder if your skills are eroding. And another thing that comes into play, he's making pretty good money. And if you're not, they don't think they're getting their money's worth. When you're younger, you're not making as much money. They might go with you a little longer just to see if you can come out of it, because you can, you know, they can get their money's worth a lot quicker. So they're looking to get out from underneath some money. It's the last year of his contract. Get somebody else in here, maybe at a lower price.
Mike Lowell, they have a veteran bench.
Yeah.
Probably one of the most veteran benches there in baseball.
And you're right. He's not very far away. There he is, Mike Lowell.
As valuable as Lowell has been for this organization, if the Red Sox want to take pressure off Ortiz, they've got to get Lowell out of here, because as long as Lowell is here, then they've got an option to DH Lowell against left-handed pitching. There were some people in the media that were saying, why was David Ortiz starting on opening night against CC Sabathia? So as long as Lowell is an option for Francona, the media is going to keep harping on that.
Well, he's back in there tonight against Andy Pettit, although, as you mentioned, his numbers are pretty decent against Andy.
There's Theo Epstein, the GM of the Red Sox.
But when you're not swinging the bat well, you're not swinging the bat well against anybody, righties or lefties.
Michael, I can't imagine David Ortiz thinking about Mike Lowell and the possibilities. Maybe, as you say, the press.
Yeah, they keep asking him about it.
David Ortiz is going to go down as one of the most feared, or certainly in this last 10-year decade, a great hitter.
He's got the all-time record for home runs by DH.
The 2-1. Count 3-1. That's what Lowell's done in his career with the Red Sox. Always good numbers. Last year he could hardly move after hip surgery. Still hit .290. He wasn't good in the field, but he can still hit.
He really hits well here at Fenway Park.
He's a fly ball hitter to left field, and this place was built for him.
And he's a right-hand hitter who can hook the ball.
Yes. Yeah, this stadium really kind of turned his career around. With the Marlins, he was good, but not as nearly as good as he was when they traded him up here.
So Scutaro works a walk.
This is the balance of the 7, 8, 9. Talking to Dave Magadan, he likes the moves, and I know the Red Sox have been talked about that their defense efficiency was really something that they tried to improve on. But Dave Magadan said, "Look, we have a good offense. Obviously much is going to hinge on David Ortiz and him coming back, but he really liked what's happened with Adrian Beltre, allowing J.D. Drew to either bat 7th or 6th, and then Mike Cameron and Scudero. Scudero is a tough out. He was good with the Blue Jays, career year last year. As he said, it's not a black hole this year.
Here's Ellsbury. Pitch outside. Andy got into a little bit of a jam in the first inning. Runners on the corners. Got Ortiz to ground out to second. You can see he's still not sharp. So another inning with 2 runners on, trying to escape again. And there's a strike. Generous outside corner call. Now, he has not seen much action because of all the rain in Tampa. He had a simulated game on the 7th, another simulated game on the 12th. Finally got into a game against the Phillies. Then he had an intra-squad game. 1 inning rained out against the Tigers. Shattered bat popped up, shallow left, and Gardner is there as Andy wiggles out of trouble again. No runs a hit, no errors, and 2 men left. We played 2 interesting innings. There's no score. You're watching Yes. The American Airlines upcoming schedule. After the game, the Yankees will board a jet, and they'll go to Tampa Bay. In St. Pete, 3 games against the Rays. Then Monday's an off day, and then the home opener at the stadium against the Angels. 3 game set against L.A., and then 3 games against the Texas Rangers.
There they go.
Here's Nick Swisher. On the Kia scoreboard, there's no score as we go to the top of the 3rd. Now, one of the toughest things that the Red Sox had to adjust to with Lackey on the mound during spring training, they had never noticed it when they played him. But they said all he does is get the ball, throw the ball, get the ball, throw the ball. And they said it's great, but you have to get used to it because most pitchers will walk around, think like Al Leiter used to, throw a lot of pitches out of the zone.
Call strike, more strikes, quick games. I'd have a 2-hour game. If they
Well, I
call
mean,
more
you
strikes.
have to throw them to get them called, right?
Over the plate, belt high.
Still angry about that, aren't you?
Yeah. You want to? They're looking to speed up the game. The other night, Angel Hernandez wasn't given any timeouts. They allow pitchers now to lick their hand on the dirt part of the mound.
What?
Yes. Yeah.
What's next? Vaseline?
No, just saliva. There's nothing wrong with that. You get a nice little grip.
That's
See, watch
not
here.
right.
Well, he used a little sweat on his wrist.
That's not right.
To get a grip?
No, because eventually somebody's going to start loading up. They'll figure out I can do this. And all of a sudden, ball's going to be dropping like a boulder in off
Kenny,
of
they
a
can
ship.
do the same thing by walking off the back of the mound and stand in the grass.
Nick Swisher strikes out on a full count. Fastball upstairs.
Working fast, as Michael says. 4 pitches, fastball curve, just blew it by him upstairs. Aggressively coming at him.
No, if they had allowed Gaylord Perry to lick his fingers on the mound, he'd be in the Hall. Oh, he is in the Hall of Fame.
Really, I know what you're saying, but saliva. You're supposed to, you lick your fingers, but you're supposed to either wipe it, show that there's a wipe.
Could you throw a doctored pitch just from saliva?
Yes.
You could?
Yeah.
Okay.
See?
No, but you have
My
to
lawyer
wipe.
speaks.
No, you can. You can. But there's guys that do it. They'll lick their fingers and then only wipe their ring finger and pinky, and there's still a little bit on.
Well, I always thought that was a dumb rule because if you licked your fingers on the backside of the mound,
right,
by the time you get to the top, it's still wet. I mean, you don't have to. So what's the big deal if you do it on the mound? Or
when it's cold, they allow you to blow in your hand. I mean, you could spit in your hand if you wanted. Could see that.
Unsanitary, but doable. Stay tuned during the 6th inning for a message from our friends at the Fox Business Network. You ever load up a ball out?
No.
Come on. You can say now.
Please.
Statute of limitations over.
Bob Watson might be listening.
I couldn't control what I had, let alone try to watch a ball do something I didn't know it was going to do.
That's what I've heard from older players, that's one of the reasons that it was outlawed, because it's hard to control. It's very dangerous. You can get hit in the head because the ball kind of just scoots off the fingers. Count 3-2.
Wow, it's a good pitch right there. Again, coming from a pit. This is a big curveball from Lackey.
He's got a good late breaking hook, and he seems to paint that outside corner to the lefties with it.
I thought that was down, but from the looks of that angle, maybe Gardner got a call there.
Grounded to short, backhanded by Scudero. Gets rid of it quickly because Gardner's so fast, 2 away.
But first of all, when Gardner's up, the left side of the infield, they usually play a step or two closer because they know if he hits anything slowly, they won't have any chance. So anytime a ball's hit on the left side, the pressure is on. Scudero, he's going to have to scoot on this one. Backhand, quickly delivers. And got him by about a step. Here's Gardner. Speaking of scooting,
he just hit a little too hard. He's going to get 15 hits like that.
Strike. Derek Jeter.
That's what Ichiro does out in Seattle. Bangs it on the ground on the left side.
He's a magician.
Yes.
Count quickly 0-2 as Lackey works quickly.
Keeping it warm, Andy.
What did you do, Al? Put jacket or?
I would have a jacket. Unless it was real hot, you'd wrap a towel around. It's just more than anything else. When it gets hot, it's just part of your routine. It gets a little chilly if you sit there long enough.
Did you take the jacket when you got on base?
I did not, unless it was real cold. I mean, like freezing cold. Chicago, April cold. No. And come to think of it, I really wasn't on base a whole lot.
Did you like another thing? Look out! Woo. Did you mind people talking to you during the game? Certain pitchers don't like people coming up to you, the hitters. Just leave me alone.
Yes, yes.
What do you mean? Yes.
No. I didn't like it. You know, I'm the pitching coach here. Dave Allen will have something to say, and maybe the catcher. And then if you engage as the pitcher, you know, obviously we get a response.
Grounded slowly to third. Going to be a tough play. Will not be made. Base hit for Jeter.
That is the Yankees' first hit of the night.
The hot smash down the third base line. Hey, that's the beauty of this game. It's frustrating, but also that's part of it. A swinging bunt. Beltre realizing he has to hurry up. Last night, Derek Jeter made Scudero hurry up a throw and ended up throwing an error. That guy right there plays the game right. Busts out of the box no matter what. Two hopper to the second baseman. You'll see Derek run down the line as he should.
Here's Nick Johnson. Nick Johnson worked a bases loaded walk yesterday against Hideki Okajima, and that forced in the eventual winning run. Game was tied at 4. That made it 5-4, forcing home Jorge Posada from third. And Terry Francona sent out a warning to his team. He said, this is not your normal lineup. He said, they're not going to help you out. He said, you got to challenge the strike zone. He said, if you're going to pitch on the outer fringes, they're going to take the pitches. And that's why both Beckett and Lester had high pitch counts, and they were out of there after 5.
How about Okajima, man? He's on some sort of pace. Won the first game, lost the second.
Beckett, next pitch will be his 50th, or should I say Lackey, I'm sorry.
Here's Okajima. He might get a day off tonight.
That pitch right there, 1-1. Little cutter. He'll throw the fastball curve slider, and now you saw that 89 has a little cut to it. That's why Nick Johnson couldn't pull the trigger. That ball had a little cut, and it was a little bit slower than his regular fastball.
Did he go? Yes, he did. Angel Hernandez at third punches him out. You decide. Close. No run to hit. One man left. We go to the bottom of the third. This moment in Yankees history is brought to you by Johnny Walker. Demand greatness in every sip and every season. Johnny Walker, proud sponsor of the New York Yankees. April 7th, 77, Reginald Martinez Jackson makes his Yankees debut against the Brewers at Yankee Stadium. 5 very eventful years, 2 championships, 3 World Series, and then he moved on to the Angels after that. First pitch to Pedroia is a strike. On the Kia scoreboard, there's no score. Along with Al Leiter and Ken Singleton, I'm Michael Kay, and we thank you so much for joining us here on the Yes Network and spending part of your Wednesday evening with us. Yankees and the Red Sox, the rubber game of this set. That's ripped down the left field line. It's a fair ball, goes into the corner. Gardner digs it out of the corner as Pedroia starts off the inning with a double.
A lot of strange things could happen in that corner. You saw that door there. I'm not sure where the door leads to, but I've seen baseballs go back and forth in the door, and the left fielder chasing it around in the corner.
Healthy big cut, huh?
Yeah, right down the middle there, and he turns on it. See that little door there, Al? Let's see the ball ricocheting around that door.
Hooking, just in the line.
Just fair. Troy had himself a double. Yeah, that's.
You never want to go there, Ken.
You know what?
You never want to go in that door.
Don't know what's on the other side of that door.
Nope. I actually believe it's a groundskeeper room.
It is. I've been behind that door.
Here's Victor Martinez. There's a strike. Why were you beyond that door?
Because during batting practice, the gate's open and you could actually walk into the monster, and there's equipment back there. It's for the groundskeeper.
Did they throw you out of there?
No. Now they go out there and they have people walking out there during batting practice.
There's a door to the scoreboard.
Yes.
I actually was in that scoreboard during the '86 series.
Why? The whole series?
No. I had a seat in the press box. It was long.
Because?
Just because I thought it'd be great to cover an inning while back there, and it was fun. I mean, if you can avoid the rodents, it was fun. Back in '86, there were rats back there the size of little ponies. Count 2-1 on Victor Martinez.
Well, Andy Pettitte in his first start this year is making a statement. He's passing along his best wishes to Gene Monahan, the Yankee trainer, who is under the weather at this point and trying to work his way back to the Yankees. Andy actually has, you can barely see it there. You can see Gino written on the back of his hat. That's Andy's hello to Gene Monahan.
Driven down the right field line. And Phil, I heard some good news about Gene Monahan. There you see Andy's tribute to his longtime trainer. But Gino was actually at the stadium today in the Bronx setting up for Steve Donahue. He's not ready to come back to work, and he's got a road ahead of him, but he's doing okay. And he was helping set up in the Bronx. And Gene, we miss you here.
That's good news.
Get back quickly, Gino.
Squibbed out toward first. Nice play by Teixeira. Catches it in the air.
That is a great play because, first of all, if it's on the ground, Pedroia might be able to advance to third. You can see Martinez trying to hit the ball the other way, and he does. He fights it off. Just enough hang time for Teixeira to catch it before he went out of bounds on the 2.
That's knuckles right there, just busting it in on Victor.
Excellent play. Oh, is that something? Oh, that's great camera work. That camera was manned by Mike Glenn,
who used to be a great basketball player. count 2-1.
Al, there's certain guys in the lineup when you have an opportunity to kind of move around them. Now, I'm not saying that he walked Youkilis on purpose. There were 2 outs in the first time he faced him.
Yep.
Then he got Big Papi out. There's certain guys you might say,
Yes.
he's not going to beat me tonight.
Yeah, but based on who's hot or maybe the matchup, but absolutely. Sometimes you'll eliminate a couple guys as the game goes on.
Popped him up. Shallow right. Swisher calls off Cano for the second out.
I just think with Andy, he's really evolved so much along where it looks like sometimes when he's in trouble, I think not that he's trying to pitch himself into trouble, but he'll throw backwards, and if it means that he has to go to the well 2 or 3 times with his curveball and maybe throw a 3-2 changeup, if he feels like the matchup is better starting over with the next batter, he's that comfortable. So you might look and say, wow, he walked that guy or he pitched around this guy. He's struggling. I don't believe that. I think he's evolved and matured enough to where you just have a better matchup. Yeah, you know what? I'll start over with this guy. I like this field with this matchup better. So he's got to hit my pitch. If he doesn't swing, there he is, goes to first base. Okay, let me attack the next guy.
Here's Ortiz. And there's a strike.
In this series so far, Ortiz has actually hit the ball pretty hard, but almost all of them been directly at Cano. And Cano is stationed. You can see giving himself a lot more lateral movement by being on the outfield grass. He actually smoked one last night on 1 hop to Robinson.
He probably curses Rays manager Joe Madden every day because it was Madden who first employed this shift with the second baseman essentially playing short right field. Ortiz has no speed whatsoever, so you could play out there and still get him on a ground ball. And a lot of teams have followed suit with this Madden shift.
Well, years ago in Boston, used to be the Ted Williams shift with Lou Boudreau, the shortstop and the player manager of the Cleveland Indians. Instituted against the Splendid Splinter, and they had the same sort of shift on against Ted Williams, and Ted Williams refused to hit the ball to the opposite field. It didn't look like David Ortiz was thinking about the opposite field either.
Giambi, the same thing. Matter of fact, Joe Madden one time pulled the third baseman, moved him out to left field. Left fielder went to left center, and everybody shifted. He didn't have a third baseman.
Andy at 50 pitches. Not a great strike to ball ratio. He's at 2-2 now with 2 outs on Ortiz. The pitch. Line to right field. It is a base hit in front of Swisher. He's coming home with the throw. Here it is, and Pedroia slides in. An RBI single for Ortiz, and the Red Sox lead 1-0.
After all the pitches away, it looked like he got one up and in. And it was a fastball in, maybe trying to crowd him. Let's see the location. You see they're trying to come in with a fastball, and, well, he was waiting, though. Quick wristed, and hits a solid line drive to right field for his first hit of the season. So David Ortiz puts the Red Sox in front with a base hit. Swisher makes a pretty good throw, but Pedroia was off with the crack of the bat with 2 outs.
Picks the Beltray as a strike.
It's a good swing by David Ortiz. That ball, I thought may have had more of the plate. That ball was inside. Just pulling his hands in. Good pitch, good approach, good swing.
That one's driven deep to center field. Granderson on the track will make the play for the final out of the third. But the Red Sox get a run on 2 hits. Big Papi ends his 0-for-8 slide, but he is stranded. We play 3, 1-0 Sox. His quit line quiz. Alfredo Aceves is 12-1 in his career. Who was the last Yankee to win 12 of his first 13 decisions? We go to the 4th inning. And the Pitch is outside to Mark Teixeira, 1-0. Count 1-1.
He takes just enough off of that curveball, doesn't he? He almost uses that like a changeup.
77 miles an hour, 78. Good separation of 12, 13 miles an hour, which is the ideal number, and for the ability for a hitter to, actually on changeup. And I think that last year with Mike Mussina, he was taking 20 miles an hour off his fastball and change, which is really hard for any hitter to stay back long enough.
Strike 3. Teixeira down looking, and he's still looking for his first hit of the season.
Lackey's got a good breaking ball tonight. Why don't you drop back and make that severe left turn to the outside corner?
To give up backdoor pitch, it's exactly for the hitter that's do what Texas did.
Well, right to the glove of Victor Martinez.
The perfect pitch.
Here's Alex Rodriguez, and there's a strike.
With every times when you strike out like that, you just not tip your hat, but it's a corner backdoor curveball, nasty. I know you're upset.
No, I'm not really upset. They make good pitches every once in a while, but I think there was only one at bat in 15 years where a pitcher threw 3 straight pitches to the outside corner of the knees, and that was out. And that was Bob Lacey of Oakland. I couldn't believe it. I walked back and said it never happened to me before, where I didn't have at least one pitch that I should have hit. Yeah.
Wow. Only one at bat in your whole career?
He threw 3 pitches at the knees on the outside corner, down and away. Richie Garcia was the umpire. I looked at Richie. I said, it's never happened. How does that happen? And Richie said they were all strikes. 3 in a row.
Off the fist, popped up to right field. J.D. Drew is there.
Tonight after the postgame, the always outspoken Bill O'Reilly sits down for an all-new GMC Presents Center Stage with Michael Kay, from his controversial public persona on the screen to his personal life behind the scenes. The political pundit covers it all on the new Center Stage tonight after the postgame, only on Yes.
Big sports fan.
The spin zone.
No spin zone.
No spin zone, right, exactly. Good show?
Yeah, it was very good. I mean, not because of me, because of him.
Right.
You had a TV pro on there with you.
Remember that time we took a flight to Boston and Bill O'Reilly was there? Yep. It was pretty much that flight. But you weren't on the center stage. You were on the flight, though. Foul back. And the 0-2 missed outside.
Conserving his pitches. Talking about Lackey working fast. 62 pitches with 2 outs in the 4th. Respectable number for sure.
Hot shot up the middle, a base hit.
Canella's hitting everything. First time up, he smoked one at second baseman Pedroia, and this one right over the shoulder of Lackey.
This is a rocket. Get out of the way.
Oh man. Anybody ever get you out?
Yes, I got hit in about a ½ inch to my temple, right temple. Alex Gonzalez.
Did you slow it down at all, or?
I think I deflected with my glove, but I don't believe so. It hurt.
It has not affected you at all, though.
Here's the Home Depot scouting report on Jorge Posada. Last year he hit 400 against Boston. He was 16 for 40, 244 career home runs, 8th on the all-time Yankee list, and not lacking against Lackey. He's a 400 hitter against John Lackey.
I read a stat today that I couldn't believe. That Mariano Rivera, Derek Jeter, and Jorge Posada have spent more time together than any trio in the history of baseball.
Opening days.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gant.
Was it just baseball, all sports? Was it all?
I think it would probably be all sports, right?
I think it was. Yeah.
All sports. That's amazing. Now, Andy Pettitte is not included in that because 3 years he went to the Houston Astros. But no three players have ever been together that long. Runner goes. Throw to second. In time. What a throw by Victor Martinez. He threw a bullet. No runs, a hit, no errors. Because of this caught stealing, nobody left on base. We go to the bottom of the fourth. 1-0 Sox. The New York State Smokers Quit Line Quiz answer. Now, the question was, Alfredo Aceves is 12-1 in his career. Who was the last Yankee to win 12 of his first 13 decisions? Now, probably a reliever. The answer is Bob Wickman. 14-1 during the 92 and 93 seasons.
He had a good sinker.
Because of that accident that he had.
The
half of his tip of his finger. I think his middle finger. And the ball just moved. J.D. Drew. Hot shot. Picked at the shoe tops by Cano, one away. If you could pick the perfect pitch and throw it,
change up.
You throw the changeup.
Oh boy, I wish I had a changeup. It makes it so much easier.
You thinking of it now?
I couldn't throw it. I tried to throw it. I could not. The way the ball came out of my hand, I cut everything. The curveball, you pull your hand in a little, four-seam it.
A well-thrown changeup is just the equalizer for a pitcher against a hitter because then you put it in his mind. I look silly when I swing and miss it. Like that.
A big curveball, pull a string. I think if you could teach a kid early on, if you could throw a changeup, fastball change. You look at what guys like Pedro Martinez and now Johan Santana. CC Sabathia throws a lot of changeups.
Count 1-2.
I played with a lot of great players, and I really respected John Olerud as a pure hitter, and he said the changeup is absolutely the hardest pitch for him to hit. He's retired now.
Probably still doesn't like hitting it.
He probably doesn't, right?
Over 50? No, he's not over 50 yet.
50? No, I bet he's probably not even 40.
He's got to be 40.
Yeah,
How old are you?
44.
Swing and a miss. Foul tip, but held onto by Posada.
See, that's the thing for Andy Pettitte. I guess Mike Hammer wants some help. First base umpire. Schreiber saw it. Let's see if it hits the dirt here. That's what Mike Cameron's complaining about. Swing, miss. Oh, it did. Well, if it's a foul tip and then hits the dirt, it's a foul ball.
No, it looked like it took a little short hop, didn't it?
Yes, it did. He has a gripe.
Al Olerud will be 42 in August.
42, really? Johnny O. Great guy.
Slick fielder. First time up in the big leagues was the first time he ever used a wooden bat in his life because he never went to the minors, and he got a hit.
Career 295 hitter for Olerud. That was some infield the Mets had back then. It was actually on the cover of SI as the best defensive infield ever. It was Roberto Alomar.
No. Alfonso at second. Ray Ordonez, Robin
Edgardo
Ventura.
Alfonso, Robin Ventura. Okay.
Yeah, it was solid.
Hot shot at short. Tough hop, but Jeter plays it. And a nice scoop by Teixeira to end the inning as the Red Sox go down in order against Andy Pettitte. We played 4 here at Fenway. Tough hop for the captain across the diamond. And the Yankees are trailing the Red Sox 1-0 on Yes. Thank you, Bob. Tough loss yesterday for the Orioles, and their new closer, Mike Gonzalez, did not do the job. Big hit by Carl Crawford, and Baltimore's trying to even that series at a game apiece. On the Kia scoreboard, 1-0 Boston over the Yankees as we go to the fifth. Posada leads off. He was at the plate when Cano got thrown out at second. There's a ground ball to second, and Pedroia records the out. You know what's funny, Kenny? We're sitting here, we're doing Yankee Red Sox games.
Gotcha.
And there's some of the biggest stars in the world on the field. Derek Jeter and Alex Rodriguez and David Ortiz. I mean, all the big stars.
Michael Kay.
And Al Leiter lit up because in the booth to our left, the radio booth for the Red Sox, is Steven Tyler and Peter Wolf of Jay Giles.
Gotcha.
And he's standing there with his iPhone like a little fan,
Taking
clicking
up
pictures. And Steven Tyler shot him a look and said, hey,
No,
buddy.
he gave like a cool, like he was rocking out.
That wasn't a little signal he gave you with his hand.
The Jay Giles band?
Yep.
Yeah.
Little centerfold he's thinking about. There they are. Steven Tyler on the right and Peter Wolf to the left.
Aerosmith.
Now, did you take that picture for yourself?
No, no, no. I have a friend who looks like Steven Tyler.
Really? Hot shot up the middle, and it's under the glove of Pedroia into center field for a base hit. I want to ask a question, and it's wrong. Guy or a girl?
No, it's a guy. It's a guy.
Good effort by Pedroia.
Here's
All he
Nick
got was
Swisher.
all he got was a face full of dirt.
Swisher struck out on a high 3-2 fastball in the third inning. Nick yesterday, 2 hits and a walk and an RBI. And in the opener, he had a walk and another hit and a run scored. Hitting .375, and last year he pretty much carried the team in April. He came out of the gates hot, got big hits, and kept the Yankees afloat while Alex Rodriguez was out with the hip surgery and Mark Teixeira wasn't hitting.
Now here was the guy that the Yankees thought might be sort of like the fourth outfielder, because Xavier Nady was expected to be the right fielder, but Nady had the had to undergo Tommy John surgery, and Swisher stepped in. And the rest is history. 29 homers, 82 runs batted in later. Now, Cano being thrown out, attempting to steal. One of the things that we talked about, the Red Sox not throwing out many base runners last year. Curtis Granderson is more of an accomplished base stealer than Robinson Cano. Granderson actually stole 20 last year, was caught just 6 times. Cano stole 5 last year and got caught 7 times.
Granderson a couple years ago had the
2020.
Yes.
Well, last year he did. He had 30 home runs. He had 30-20.
Well, he had 23 triples also.
Yeah, that's a big number.
In 2007. 23 triples, 23 home runs. Well, the way Lackey's pitching, you get a good pitch to run on. I'd still apply pressure to Victor Martinez. Last year, Martinez threw out 14%. League average was about 25.
Runner goes. Throw to second. Stolen base for Granderson. Another good throw by Martinez.
Yes.
But more of an accomplished base stealer. It's more than just a good throw. If he gets a decent jump, he's going to make it. The guys that steal the bases, they know about when they can go. If it's a breaking ball, that actually helps him out. He takes a little glance to see what happens with the ball, and he's there about a half a second ahead of the throw, and that's good enough.
Good pitch.
Breaking ball, steps into the throw. It's accurate. Had a little loop to it. It wasn't as good as the throw he made on Cano.
That one is driven into center field. And the dive by Cameron, he comes up with it. Took a base hit and an RBI away from Swisher. They brought in Cameron for his defense, and he flashed some leather right there and a big smile as well.
Well, he's won 2 Gold Gloves in his career. And that was a sinking line drive. Looked like it was tough to judge, but he stayed with it, came up with it. Make that 3 Gold Gloves in his career.
When we saw him in an earlier game with Ellsbury playing left, moving from center to left, how he covers more ground. Definitely the outfield defense has improved for the Red Sox.
Off-speed pitch to Gardner for a strike. Along with Al Leiter and Ken Singleton, I'm Michael Kay. You're watching Yankees baseball right here on the Yes Network. On the top of the 5th inning, the Red Sox lead the Yankees 1-0. Rubber game of this 3-game set.
I'll tell you, Lackey's done a good job of mixing his pitches up tonight. He's not fastball first pitch to get ahead. It can be breaking ball to get ahead.
Sliced the other way. You know, interesting story about Lackey signing. They signed him to a 5-year, $82.5 million deal, and they struck quickly, made the offer, and he took it. And the day that it came out and was announced that they had signed him, Theo Epstein, the GM, called up Josh Beckett and said, I don't want you to think that we signed him and we don't want to sign you. We're going to sign you too. And Beckett said that was the most important thing that Theo did. It was a really smart thing for him to do. And they announced his 4-year extension on Monday. So they had their big 4 starters signed through 2014. Or at least all 4 under their control till 2014.
And prior to spring training, or at spring training, Terry Francona mentions to Lackey, where do you think you fit in here? He says, I get it. Josh Beckett and John Lester, they've been here, they deserve it. I'm fine at number 3. That's the kind of guy he is.
Been bothered by some arm woes the last couple of years. And maybe that's why the Angels didn't want to give him that sort of money. You know, they know their player better than anybody. And the knock on the Angels is they have 5 good pitchers, but they kind of have 5 number 2 starters. They don't really have the ace. Is Jared Weaver going to step up and be an ace? Is Joel Pinheiro going to be an ace?
Saunders.
Good.
Yeah.
Casimir. Grounded softly towards second. And Pedroia gets Gardner for the final out of the 5th. No runs a hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base at the end of 4 1/2. We are halfway through. It's 1-0 Boston. It's time for another look at tonight's Toyota text poll. And the question was, will John Lackey be as effective with the Red Sox as he was with the Angels? You've been voting at 58-772, and here's what you gave us. No. No. 66% just flat out said no. 34% said yes. I wonder if those are Yankee fans just hoping more than analyzing.
So just about 2 out of every 3 said no.
Andy Pettitte against Jacoby Ellsbury. 1-0. Now, for Andy Pettitte to come out and pitch as effectively as he has over the first 4 innings, a lot of veterans around baseball say, why do we have to pitch in spring training? Why do we have to go in games? Kia scoreboard, it's 1-0 Red Sox, bottom of the 5th.
Well, I hope you're partially in jest, right?
Partially. But I really, he didn't see much action on the field.
Well, he didn't see much action in the game at the stadium where people were buying tickets. He still got work in. And granted, it's different. There's no question about it. I'm not going to tell you that it's the same by going in a backfield or going to the minor league camp and throwing to, 3 or 4 guys that just stay in the cage. But there's a different guy here. I mean, this guy's a long time established great pitcher. And there's certain guys that, you just know what it takes. To your point, I think spring training's too long. It's getting longer and there's more games.
Well, pitchers have to get their pitch counts up. I mean, you have to get it up to 90, right?
Yeah, but Kenny, the guys now, they're ready so much earlier. Many times you get a guy come in and the pitching coach will actually tell you to back off a little.
So I think that you're right about the position players being more ready than they used to be. But the whole thing. They're protecting the pitcher's arms by getting them stronger and stronger and stronger. Before they break camp, they want these guys to be able to throw 90 to 100 pitches in their first start. And you know what? I still don't think they're quite ready. They're not mid-season form, I don't think.
Here's Dustin Pedroia. Well, Andy Pettitte was rudely welcomed to game action in the first inning. First batter he faced, there was a collision at first base, and he was shaken up, but he hung in there. And obviously he's settled down now. 68 pitches. And here is that play in the first inning.
Well, it's Ellsbury at the plate. He hits a little topper down the first baseline. Now the race is on. And Andy gets the worst of the collision. Ellsbury is going to get himself a base hit. That was Cano with the flip because the ball had actually grazed off the glove of Teixeira.
That's a good fall, big fall. He's going to be in that hot tub later.
Time machine?
Whirlpool? What do they call it? Whirlpool, right?
Yeah.
Well, at the old visitors clubhouse here at Fenway, they call it a hot tub of water.
You got the old motor whirlpool thing.
That training room has not changed in 30-something years. Here at the clubhouse, at visiting clubhouse at Fenway Park. Not enough room in there to change your mind.
Have a nice shiny new runway though.
It is.
They fixed that up, I think, for the hockey game with the guys in the skates. It's a rubber bottom there. They used to have these old milk crates that you kind of clunk along.
With water underneath it. Yeah. It's probably frozen. They could have skated from the clubhouse.
Grounded to short. New Year's Day, it was the Winter Classic here at Fenway Park.
You haven't let
and it was a huge success. They had that hockey rink up for a couple of months, and they had corporate people come by and skate at Fenway Park, and the place was sold out. It was the Bruins against the Flyers.
And the Bruins won.
That has become quite a success for the NHL, and they move that game around year to year. Victor Martinez 0 for 2 so far tonight with the ground ball double play in the first, and then he lined out, humpback line drive, nice play by Teixeira in the third. Good pitch right on the inside corner. Victor Martinez trying to jackknife out of the way.
Coming inside with a fastball after throwing the breaking ball. It was actually a little slider, perfect location. Victor Martinez did a heck of a job when he was traded over from the Indians last year. Got number 350 while with the Red Sox.
Hot shot, grabbed by Jeter. The jump past the first, not nearly in time as it pulls Teixeira off the bag. Let's take a look at Friday's starting pitchers, brought to you by Fios TV, internet, and phone. This is Beyond Cable. This is Fios. Javi Vasquez makes his first start and his second go-around with the Yankees against the young left-hander David Price. Those are their records from last year. First game of a 3-game set.
I think Vasquez is going to have a huge year for the Yanks. I love him. I think he's
a good pitcher.
Good pitcher. Got a heck of a spring.
Understands how to pitch. How to get people out.
4th in Cy Young in National League last year.
Al, I don't know if you remember this, but on our preseason special, Pride, Power, and Pinstripes, you said that Vasquez would win 23 games.
Did I say 23?
Yeah, that's what you said.
I meant 24. I believe, look, I know it's a tougher league. He's got a better offense here, obviously, with the Yanks. I know he's facing the Red Sox and Tampa Bay. Good 4-pitch pitcher, solid all the way around. Strikeout guy.
Look out!
As Youkilis gets plunked. And he waves off the trainer and his manager, but they're still going to tend to him and see if he's okay.
Yeah, he's smiling. I'll tell you this. You could see Andy Pettit's reaction. At that time, he's turning away, just trying to get out. Obviously, get out of the way. I do not believe that was intentional at all. And you saw again the way Andy was looking over, trying to come inside with the fastball. Youkilis kind of dives anyway, diving meaning toward home plate, and at that time it was obviously up near the head area, and he's trying to get out of the way. Wasn't able to.
He doesn't look too upset, so that kind of tells me he didn't think it was on purpose. And you don't hit somebody to move another runner in the scoring position.
Well, now in this day and age, every time the guy gets hit, people think that it's on purpose.
Ortiz with an RBI single in the 3rd inning. Youkilis gets hit a lot. Last year, 16, 4th most in the American League. And that hit by Pitt certainly awakened this crowd. Grounded foul.
Well, there's certain guys, their approach, it's very difficult for certain hitters, just the way they attack the ball, to get out of the way if it is coming up and in or somewhere near their body.
But you will agree there are certain pitchers that have a tendency to hit more batters because they think they can intimidate them. But with the good hitters, it makes them even tougher. They don't get intimidated. Ooh.
Watch it. Generally, what I mean by dive, the energy or effort of his body generally goes toward home plate. See where, well, that's a straight. He had no chance of getting out of that. I remember Craig Biggio with Houston, he couldn't get out of the way. His whole approach was just hanging in there.
But when you're hitting, though, you're taught to turn that front shoulder towards the pitcher, and you're not giving ground. You're trying to make sure you can guard the whole plate. It's almost impossible to do, but just so you, in case you get something out over the outside corner, you're moving in that direction to hit it.
2-2. That'll release the runners at 3-2 and 2 outs.
See if Andy tries an inside move here at second base just to stop that. Or at least having the runners wait for Andy to make sure he's going home. Although with the 2 outs, it's all about getting David Ortiz out.
Ortiz calls time. Yesterday they were somewhat reluctant to grant timeout with Angel Hernandez behind the plate. Swing and a miss, he got him. And Pettit is pumped up and pumps his fist as he gets Ortiz swinging with 2 runners on. No runs a hit, no errors, and 2 men left on base. Breaking ball diving down and away, and Ortiz swings over the top. We go to the 6th.
Hello, we're from
Season with the 2009 World Series Game 6 clincher on Yankees Classic. Relive all the excitement from Matsui's MVP performance to the thrilling final out, plus the post-game celebration on a World Series winning Yankees Classics. Tomorrow night at 7, only on Yes. After that final out, Pettit turned to Victor Martinez to say, hey, listen, tell Youkilis I hope he's okay.
My bad.
Well, Lackey's certainly been impressive in his first start for the Red Sox.
His curveball has been very impressive tonight. That's been his primary pitch. He's located it well to left-handed hitters down and away almost exclusively. That one kind of hung a little bit to Derek, though. He had a good swing at it.
That one's driven to right field, and that is going to be a foul ball.
Well, other than John Lackey having a little arm trouble the last 2 years, in 08 he had some DL time with his right triceps. Last year it was a strained forearm. I think part of the reason why the Angels didn't aggressively go after him, because, as you said, Michael, they know their own goods, and here's a guy who 33, 32 starts for 5 years in a row. Missed a few. Velocity, certainly more than enough. Obviously, a game like tonight, doing very well through 5 scoreless.
He's been consistently 90-91.
Yeah.
Look out.
And Jeter gets plunked. Now, do you think that was on purpose, that the home plate umpire is warning both sides? I just don't think that was on purpose.
To lead off an inning on a 2-2 count in a 1-0 game, no, Michael.
No.
If there was a shot, you would take it with 2 outs in kind of a benign moment, not in a tight ball game in 1-0 in 6 innings.
Just no intent whatsoever. They try and pitch Jeter inside. You saw the previous pitch was kind of tight. This one he's trying to get it in there again, and this time he hits him. And plus, you don't put somebody on base who can steal a base. I mean, Jeter stole 30 bags last year. I mean, you're asking. This kind of opens the door for the Yankees for a rally.
And he pushes Youkilis, because Youkilis knows that it wasn't on purpose, and he knows that what Andy did wasn't on purpose. I think that's an umpire overreacting.
These two played together on the World Baseball Classic team last year. I think that was an overreaction by Paul Schreiber. I know they want to stop everything, but I don't think either one of those is going to escalate anything from that point.
You could tell the tenor of a game and how it's playing out, and the emotions, and maybe certain plays in the field, or guys taking somebody out at second, or just the guy who repeatedly has been throwing at guys, or known to be throwing, the guy who throws at guys. Pettit's not that pitcher.
I don't think Lackey is either, for that matter.
No, he'll come inside. That's part of his MO. He will try to command the inside part of the plate, or at least allow the hitter to know that he's out there. Show me a successful pitcher in the major leagues. I'll show somebody who is able to throw a ball inside. You don't have to throw 95.
Bullpen getting busy. The lefty's showing Weiss. The righty is Ramon Ramirez. Count 2-1 on Nick Johnson. Nick is grounded to first and struck out today.
It's a good count for Derek Jeter to be on the move. Nope.
2-2.
And it's an off-speed pitch. It would have been a good pitch to go on.
Count full at 3-2.
Now here's where he'll probably be on the move for sure. Trying to stay out of the double play. Nick Johnson has a good eye, so he's probably not going to swing at a ball out of the strike zone.
Puts the ball in play. Not a high strikeout guy.
Runner was going and the ball fouled away.
3-2 breaking ball.
92 pitches for John Lackey. Yankees down 1-0. We're in the 6th. Red Sox won Sunday night 9-7. Yankees won 6-4 last night. Jeter goes again. That one is driven out to right field and deep. Going back is J.D. Drew. A beautiful play on the run for the first out. Jeter heads back. That's a nice play by J.D. Drew.
Good play by Drew and good at bat for Nick Johnson. Running it to 3-2. Jeter's on the move to stay out of double play, and Nick puts a charge into it, but it hangs up. Not quite enough towards the gap as J.D. Drew, who's an underrated player. I mean, he's solid defensively, has a good arm, makes a nice running catch. Jeter has to return to first base.
Here's Teixeira. 0-1.
Nick hit that one right on the screws.
He had a little cut to it.
Oh, man.
Got his top hand in on it a little too much. The little slice that had gone away from JD.
Lackey and Teixeira, teammates for a short while with the Angels.
A pretty good history, Michael. Coming into the 90. Teixeira's 388, 2 home runs, 19 for 49 at bats.
Count 2-1.
Lackey's not quite as sharp within the strike zone in this inning. He hit Jeter, went to 3-2 with Nick Johnson. You might say, what's new with Nick? That's true. But now he's fallen behind Teixeira. You got A-Rod on deck.
And the count now 3-1.
Then, you know, we've seen it consistently in this series. Pitchers start getting around 85, 90 pitches as starters. They're not quite used to doing that. Maybe once during the, their last starts in the in spring training.
98th pitch, so this is the number.
3-1. Runner goes. A ball, so Teixeira walks and Jeter advances to second. This chiropractic telecast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and description is a lot high.
I'm a pitcher, Kenny.
Here's Alex Rodriguez. Yankees have the tying run at second. Popped up behind the plate, and that's out of play and right under our booth. Just missed us. The next pitch will be the century mark.
Alex had a pretty good swing at that pitch.
And the 0-1. Hit sharply to third. Gobbled up by Beltre. There's one. On to first, double play. Alex hit the ball right on the screws, but right to Adrian Beltre. No runs, no hits, no errors, and one man left on base. We've played 5.5, and the Red Sox lead 1-0. Time now for a message from our friends at the Fox Business Network. Well, fans, welcome the 27-time world champions back to town with the New York Yankees 2010 homecoming dinner on Monday, April 12th at 5 p.m. Don't miss this opportunity to see the Bronx Bombers up close and personal. A limited number of seats are still available. For more information, call 843-1703 or email yankeedinner@hgnyc.com. Alex Rodriguez cannot make the play. So Beltre gets himself a single.
Well, Beltre had it in front of him. Derek Jeter hit it. And same play. It's an emergency play for Alex. Bang, bang. Nice play all the way around. Beltre just beat it out off the plate. Alex realizes coming in hard, has to barehand it. Just beat it up.
Let's take a look at the Coors Light freeze cam, and his foot is on the base. The ball's not yet in the glove, so a good call by Rob Drake.
So far tonight, offensively, Yankees can't seem to get the luck of the draw. They hit the ball hard a couple of times and men on base. Jeter on the move. Nick Johnson hit it hard. A-Rod hit a rocket to third, turns into a double play. Maybe they should go the broken bat route. Maybe that'll work.
Jeter had the little swinging bunt. Tough pitching.
Yeah.
Not like you give some. You got to give credit.
He's a
made the
bulldog.
pitch. That's right.
He's tough.
Let's see if they can turn two. There's one. On to first. It's a double play. A broken bat 4-6-3 double play.
J.D. Drew out in front. He had it through the harder breaking ball, and then that one looks like the same breaking ball, but it's a little slower off the end of the bat. Perfect 4-6-3 double play. Nice play all the way around. Now that previous pitch was about 88. This one being a little slower. You see J.D. Drew out in front, hitting the end of the bat, breaking it.
Here's Mike Cameron. And a strike. Count 1-1. Andy at the 90 pitch count.
Nice changeup. This will be Andy's last inning. I'll tell you, coming into today, we're talking about the amount of innings that Andy had. It's very well get through this. Less than 100 pitches, 6 innings.
And a strike.
You know, when you look at the pitching matchups in this series, and we talked about the excellent starting pitching both these teams have, this is the type of game you could have seen in any one of the 3 games.
2-2. Count 3-2. This is the matchup so far. Lackey's lasted 6 with 3 hits, no runs. Pettit 5 2/3, 6 hits, and just 1 run. That came in the 3rd, an RBI single by David Ortiz. Lackey's made it hold up. Check swing, did he go? Yes, he did. Cameron down on strikes. So Andy Pettit has thrown 93 pitches. But after 6 innings, the Red Sox lead the Yankees 1-0. You're watching the Yankees from the Yankees Entertainment and Sports Network. As long as we're part by Death at a Funeral. Die Laughing, April 16th. By Mitsubishi Motors. By Blimpie, America's Sub Shop. And by Avis, the official rental car company of the Yankees. Through 6, Red Sox lead the Yankees 1-0. They have a new pitcher as Terry Francona makes the call to the bullpen. Brought to you by AT&T, a better 3G experience.
Scott Schoenweiss was picked up from the Brewers. Brewers let him go, and Schoenweiss got a little time in spring training with the Red Sox and won that last spot. Tough on left-handers.
The Verizon scoreboard 1-0 on the Verizon Wireless. 1-6-0 to 0-3-0. So Lackey gives them 6 innings and allows just 3 runs. And an interesting clause they put in his contract. Very, very odd. You don't hear about this at all, but the Red Sox were protecting against the fact that he's been hurt the last couple of years. So he signed a 5-year deal, and that will take them through 2014. And they said that if he suffers a serious elbow injury, then he has to give them the option of pitching in 2015 for the major league minimum. And he signed it. So he has to give them, in essence, a free year if he misses a year because of elbow surgery. And right now, the major league minimum is $400,000.
Wow.
And they wanted that because he has pre-existing situations with his arm. They couldn't get insurance. They didn't ask for that with Beckett because they feel that Beckett's shoulder and elbow happen to be insurable.
Oh, you're saying there's something going on in there?
Well, because he's had injuries in the past.
Oh, okay.
But Beckett does not have that clause in his contract. Swing and a miss. Cano down on strikes against Schoenweiss.
Well, you know, it's smart all the way around. Red Sox and for Lackey and his representative, it was probably his only way of getting 5 years. Said, look, we'll give you 5 years, but we are concerned about the elbow, and if that takes place, so his AAV over the 82.5 is $16.5 million a year, which would just lessen that AAV.
And for AAV, that's average annual value of the contract. So the Red Sox are going to try to mix and match to get the final 9 outs of this game and hold on to a 1-0 lead. And the pitch to Posada is inside.
By the way, that's the first time that Robinson Cano has struck out this year. He's been putting the ball in play with authority.
Foul back. $11 for 25 against Schoenweiss. 2 of the 11 home runs.
Like to have that last pitch back. Good swing. That's your ball go slipping high enough.
I think it was just a little too high. Just a hair.
That one's driven deep to left center field. Going back, Cameron, still back. He's going to play it off the base of the wall. Posada is at second. He's going to stop right there. Ball gets away, but Posada's not going to tempt anybody with his speed.
Well, that 440 batting average we just showed you went up a tick because Posada just missed a home run to deep left center field here at Fenway Park. This pitch is down. This one he just drops the head on. And everybody in the dugout, Yankee dugout, is wishing for about 10 more feet here.
Well, Cameron, I think being new to this ballpark, probably should have gone after it and having Ellsbury play the carom.
And hit at the 379 side, and Posada has himself a 2-base hit.
Once he pulls up right here thinking it's going to be off the wall, he may have had a shot at it because it didn't touch the ball. On a fly.
Here's Granderson. Big spot against a left-handed pitcher. Posada moving up on the list. All-time Yankee doubles list. 344 time Mickey Mantle for 7th place.
Those are some
past Bill Dickey.
Those are all the other guys are Hall of Famers.
Granderson, fly ball to center and a single to right, also stole a base. Count 1-2.
Well, he told you Posada lit up the Red Sox for 400 last year. 400. He's got 5 hits in this series.
Nice block by Victor Martinez.
Staying steady dose of breaking balls. Good. Victor Martinez getting his body out square to the home plate area. Getting on all fours. That's the way you do it. Steady dose of breaking balls right here. See if Granderson will stay on one of these curveballs here. Showing Weiss out pitch for left-handed batter.
Two. Count full at 3-2.
Here comes the breaking ball. Show in, get him out of
Get
way.
away. Yeah.
Nick Swisher on deck, switch hitter, and then another lefty after him. Three-two. Could not hold up. Granderson down on strikes.
Well, Granderson had a tough time last year against left-handed pitchers, and normally if you'll see a left-hander, the reason why Sean Weiss is so good, show inside, make sure as a pitcher you're in off the plate, and then that opens up that breaking ball. That's a pitch that he could have pulled the trigger, tried to bury the breaking ball off the plate. Stand up, 3-2, he's fine with his breaking ball. This pitch is middle of the plate, couldn't pull the trigger.
Well, with a switch hitter coming up, they decide to go to the bullpen. Sean Weiss does a good job striking out the two lefties he faces.
So I need the entire team together.
Hey, come to Yankee Stadium in 2010 to see the 27-time world champions in action. On Friday, April 16th, the Yankees take on the Texas Rangers, and it's magnetic schedule night. All fans in attendance receive a 2010 magnetic schedule courtesy of AT&T. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com, visit the Yankee Stadium ticket window, Yankees clubhouse shops, or call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849. Daniel Bard, we see him for the third time in as many games in this series. And he's up there to face Nick Swisher. Swisher, a switch hitter batting from the left side. Bard struck out one in the 2 innings in the previous 2 games, an inning apiece, and he's walked 2. Nick was very late on that pitch. 96-mile-an-hour fastball.
Well, and also, too, Michael, the location of it, but you're looking at a young, strong, special arm in baseball. It's smooth, comes out of his hand effortlessly. Hard combination. He's got a little bit of a curveball power slider and a 95 to 100 mile an hour fastball. Got to dial it up.
Skied the other way and out of play. So Swisher quickly down on the count 0-2. The 0-2. 99 miles an hour. And Swisher was right on it, fouled it straight back.
Well, it was right towards the middle of the plate. But still, 99, he was late. If somebody thrown at even 95, he'd get to it.
Let's see if there's a breaking ball here. 97, 97, 99, fouls it straight back. You allow a hitter to time it and see the release point and the delivery, they'll eventually catch up to it. So see if he does something off speed here, breaking ball in the dirt.
Hit sharply and through for a base hit. Can Posada score? Drew comes up throwing. Here's the throw. Here's the play at the plate. Nobody's touched home plate yet. Posada does. He's safe. And the Yankees have tied the game at 1.
Well, Al, like you said, eventually they will catch up to it. Big league hitters make the adjustment. He saw 4 pitches. He was late on 3 of them, and then got out in front of one. Let's see the location. It's right down the middle. Bard's not worried about corners. He's worried about velocity to get hitters out. This one, Yankees finally get one in a hole. Drew comes up throwing. Posada's at second. couple of hops on the throw. The throw was actually in time. Martinez couldn't handle it, and Posada's in with the tying run.
Here's Brett Gardner. Now I'm going to tell you what's amazing about that. Schreiber calls him safe, and he did not touch home until he came back and touched. Watch. Never. Now, the home plate umpire is saying safe before he comes back and touches it.
Didn't see it. I wonder if that had any influence on Bard not coming back. Schreiber, if the umpire right there is called safe and Bard sees that. Yeah.
Was it in anticipation of Posada touching the plate?
Maybe so.
But you got to actually wait till he touches it.
Chop toward short. They get the force, but Nick Swisher with a big hit, driving home Jorge Posada, and the Yankees have tied the game at 1. In the 7th, no runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. This play at home gave the Yankees a tie game. We played 6.5. Time for the 7th inning stretch. It's a 1-1 game. Well, thank you very much, Bob and John. Obviously, both pitchers did a good job, both Lackey and Pettit. You can't ask for anything more. You get 6 innings out of each of them. They gave up 1 run for Pettit and Lackey zeros, but the bullpen kind of betrayed him. And that's the bottom line. So it's 1-1 right now in the bottom of the 7th inning. And the Yankees have a new pitcher. It's Chan-Ho Park. Chan-Ho Park was not available yesterday because he was suffering a little bit from the flu. So he's out on the mound today. Did not pitch well on Sunday. Let's see how he does today. Gave up that 2-run home run to Dustin Pedroia.
Well, had a good spring and had a very good year last year when the Phillies put him in the bullpen. Added velocity because of it. And as you say, Michael, Pedroia with the 2-run homer, left the fastball up and in.
And there's a strike to Marco Scutaro. On the Verizon wireless scoreboard, it's 1-1. Popped up. 1 away. Now, when Posada picked up that double in the top of the 7th inning, it tied him with Mickey Mantle, and he knew that. So he wants the ball. He said, hey, I need that. And he asked again, I'd like to have that ball. And they gave it to him, so he knew exactly how far he was from tying the great Mickey Mantle and passing Bill Dickey on the all-time list. And it turned out to be a big double because the Yankees ended up tying the game.
You might be wondering why Joe Girardi did not run for him late in the game. You got to remember that Francisco Cervelli has been having a little problem with the hamstring, and you might not want him straining to score on a base hit like that one.
There's a strike.
Great pitch. That was about as nasty as down and in sliders you can throw.
You know, early when he was with the Dodgers, it was a big power curveball. As Kenny said, that's a good slider.
Those are his numbers with the Phillies. Most of the ERA came as a starter. He was lights out as a reliever.
Yeah, that was a tale of 2 years less, or 2 seasons. 7 starts, he had a 7 ERA, and at 38 games, a 2.52 ERA.
Now Posada actually called time there because I think Chan-Ho Park did the wipe too quickly, and Posada wanted to process it, and he held his hands up.
Yeah, I like that wipe.
2-2. And the count full of 3-2.
So the wipe,
You know, the wipe is where you get a sign instead of keep shaking, and then eventually the batter steps out and the pitcher steps off the mound, the catcher stands up. Posada will give a sign. If Chan-Ho likes the sign, he'll agree with it, or he'll do the shake at the wipe as we just saw.
Fly ball center field coming on Granderson. 2 outs.
And in many cases, a wipe will show location. Sometimes a catcher will give a certain mass. He'll touch different parts of the body. So he just wiped a little bit around his belt area.
Now, Al, the wipe on the top is a plus, and the wipe on the pants is a minus?
It all depends on Michael, what they're doing. I used to wipe the shirt would be adding, and the leg would be subtracting. So whatever he ended up on, you could add or subtract. Not on singular signs, but multiple signs.
So if he puts down a 1 and Chan-Ho Park wants to throw a curveball, he'll just wipe once and that'll get him to the curveball.
If that's what they choose to do, yeah. Or he might have a touch where he touches his leg as a curve and touches his shirt as a fastball away. It just eliminates. If there is any confusion, I started doing it the latter part of my career, and it was helpful. It helped with the flow. If you're not in sync, just follow the wipes. Dave Stewart used to do it and actually taught me it's effective.
So the guy who hit the 2-run home run off him on Sunday, Dustin Pedroia, pops it up here on Wednesday. And Chan-Ho Park gets 3 fly balls, works a 1-2-3 inning in the 7th. Good game as we go to the 8th. It's 1-1 on Yes. Tonight throughout the Yankee season on Yes, we're asking you to vote along with us for the Chevy Player of the Game. Text your vote to 58772 or vote online at yesnetwork.com. Tonight's candidates are number 1, John Lackey, number 2, Andy Pettit, number 3, David Ortiz, and number 4, Nick Swisher. Vote now, make your voice heard. Standard text messaging rates apply. We go to the 8th inning, top of the Yankee order. And Daniel Bard still in there. Jeter 1 for 2 today, and he was hit by a pitch. Foul back.
See Derek Jeter's patented right center swing. You got a guy throwing real hard.
Red Sox are set up that way. Big gap in left center. Big gap.
Ooh, the equalizer. See where Mike Cameron is in center field.
See right out here, that's a triple waiting to happen.
Let's check out the game time weather conditions, see what's happened. Presented by Bigelow Tea. There's Ramon Ramirez. Still a beautiful night now, 77 degrees, and the wind is practically nothing, partly cloudy is the forecast. Just an unbelievable 3 games here in Boston. You couldn't ask for better weather. Yesterday was a little overcast, but still the temperature not what you would expect at the beginning of April, so no complaints whatsoever.
People are walking around the Commons today.
Right off the thumbs, and he grounds it to Scudero.
Yeah, a little different velocity, that ball coming in on your hands. Derek Jeter fighting it off at 97 as opposed to obviously less velocity. Got a chance to get the barrel, stay inside the ball.
Here's Nick Johnson still looking for his first base hit. And a strike.
Pulled the string on that. Change up at 89 miles an hour. 97, 98, and then a straight changeup.
89.
Corner, just perfect.
Ooh.
Strike three.
Fastball, changeup, curveball. All three of them nasty.
You see now, Victor, he's using his glove, saying down on the ground, down, bury it. It ended up being middle, but Nick couldn't pull the trigger or at least try to foul it off. Not easy.
Here's Mark Teixeira. Driven deep to right field. Giving chase is Drew, and he runs it down for the final out of a 1-2-3 inning as the Yankees go down in order. We go down to the bottom of the 8th, tied at 1 on yes. And after the last out for the W.B. Mason postgame, joined Bob Lorenz, Jack Curry, John Flaherty. It's a full house for analysis and highlights from this series finale and the rest of the majors. Plus, Kimberly Jones has the quotes from the clubhouse. It's all coming up right after the game. It's only on yes. But the main thing that they're going to talk about, I don't know if it's happened yet. It's a 1-1 game as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. I don't know if we've had our seminal moment at this point. Chan-Ho Park retired the Red Sox in order in the 7th. Now 3, 4, and 5 in the order, starting with Martinez. Breaking ball. Martinez 1 for 3 tonight. A strike. Yankees have an off day tomorrow, then they play the Rays on Friday. Our coverage will start at 6:30. Javier Vasquez against David Price. Another good pitching matchup.
Well, Marte getting loose, and you know who he's getting loose for. David Ortiz, a couple spots away in case somebody's on. Maybe even if nobody's on, you bring him in to face David Ortiz.
I would think so. Marte coming over here, and that would be one of the biggest reasons why he's in that Yankee bullpen. Even though David Ortiz hasn't been quite the David Ortiz of past, he's still dangerous.
Ground ball to second. Cano gobbles it up, and there's one away. Let's take a look at tonight's Red Sox in-game box score, and it's sponsored by Acela Express. Enjoy the journey. The Red Sox have 6 hits. Nobody has more than 1. Hits by Ellsbury, Pedroia, Martinez, Ortiz, the RBI, Beltre, and Cameron. So the combination of Pettit and Chan-Ho Park have done a good job. Here's Youkilis. That one's drilled to center field. Cameron back. Granderson, I'm sorry, as he puts it away on the warning track for the second out.
Well, so far it appears though for Chan-Ho Park, Granderson is his fielder of choice. 3 of the hitters have flied out to center field. Oh, not really sure. All right, out number 2. That's a scare.
At this point, it looks like they're going to stay with Park against Ortiz.
Well, 1 for 9 with 1 home run.
Ortiz is driven in the only run for the Red Sox. An RBI single right in the 3rd.
Nice. Off-speed breaking ball drops in there.
The 0-1. Strike 0-2.
2 off-speed pitches. Chan-Ho Park is a reliever now, but he's got starter stuff. He's got 2 or 3, maybe 4 pitches he could go to. That's a nice changeup, kind of fading away. Should bounce something up here now. See if we can get him to chase it.
He struck him out. That's an impressive 2 innings for Chan-Ho Park, the guy they call Chop. Chopped down 6 in a row of the Red Sox. 1, 2, 3 here in the 8th inning as Ortiz goes down swinging. Let's take this baby to the 9th, all tied up at 1. Traveling this season, take the Yankees with you. Subscribe to MLB.tv today to see every Yankees game live or on demand on your computer. Visit Yankees.com to order and get more details. MLB.tv, baseball everywhere. 6 up, 6 down against Chan-Ho Park. And when he came to the dugout after that final strikeout of Ortiz, he was greeted by Dave Island. Let's do some lip reading. What's he saying there, Kenny?
How do you feel? One more inning? Yeah. How do you feel? Okay, one more inning.
It's pretty good.
Well, the Yankees score here. He won't have to give them that one more inning. Mariano Rivera would come in. Jonathan Papelbon on in a tie game as we go to the top of the 9th. And he'll face Alex Rodriguez. Foul back. June 3rd, 2007. These two hooked up right here at Fenway. And a big home run for Alex Rodriguez. It was a Sunday night game. And it was into the bullpen. And Alex Rodriguez with what turned out to be the game winner. Breaking ball, strike. Last season, 38 saves, 76 strikeouts in 68 innings. The 0-2 buzzed him inside. Power arms out of the Red Sox bullpen in the late innings, Bard and then Papelbon. Broken bat, ground ball, grabbed there by Beltre. In the dirt, scooped up by Youkilis.
Wow, what a play by Youkilis. Looked like he didn't even see it go in the glove. Beltre went long way to his left, cutting his ball off in front of Scudero.
He was guarding the line. He didn't want anything to his right, and you know, he wasn't really on balance when he threw the ball. Looked like he's got his feet twisted up a little bit. He does have a strong arm, but you're right. That was Youkilis on the other end with a nice scoop to prevent the throwing error.
He didn't see that.
Made it look easy, didn't it? That was not an easy play.
Foul back.
Did a good rip at it. You know, you see the only 12 at bats and 3 hits. You know you're going to get early in the count. Papelbon's aggressive, pounds his own early.
The 0-1. Foul back.
I used to call these pitchers like Papelbon and Bard, the hard throwers, out of the bullpen, the dare pitchers. They dare you to hit it. Their feeling is if I can hit the plate, even if it's in the middle, you're still not going to be quick enough to get to it. But if you keep pounding it towards the middle, eventually the hitters will, like Swisher did.
Swisher single in the 7th inning tied the game, scoring Posada from second. And the 0-2. Cano 1 for 3, had a home run in last night's game. Popped up. Beltre. 2 outs.
This is straight country hardball right here. Papelbon's challenging it. That was his best rip down and in. Just had a little too much velocity. Then fastball away. That was a nice cut. Again, that plus stuff. He tried to back him off the plate. Pounded him inside the whole time. Robbie couldn't get his hands in far enough. Pitch may have been ball off the plate. Tough to take. 2 strikes.
Well, 2 outs in the 9th inning. Here's Posada. Game knotted at 1. Rubber game of this 3-game set. It's been a good series. 9-7 Red Sox Sunday. 6-4 Yankees yesterday. 1-1 here on Wednesday. Posada scored the Yankees' only run. Doing some housekeeping as picks up a shard of wood that was there from a broken bat. Strike. Ground ball up the middle. Scudero's right there. And Papelbon works a 1-2-3 inning in the 9th. Red Sox will have a chance to win it. They're coming up in the bottom of the 9th inning with the game tied at 1 on yes. Take a look at tonight's Yankees in-game box score, sponsored by Acela Express. Enjoy the journey. Yankees have just 5 hits. No one with more than 1. Jeter has a hit. Cano, Posada, Granderson, and Swisher the big hit, the RBI single that tied the score in the 7th. That's where we are right now as we go to the bottom of the 9th inning. And Chan-Ho Park out for his 3rd inning of work. He's retired all 6 Red Sox that he's faced. Now he'll face Beltre, Drew, and Cameron here in the bottom of the 9th inning as the Red Sox have a chance to win it. Yankees are looking for extra innings. Strike. That one's driven out to right field. Deep. Going back is Swisher and on the warning track. He makes the play for the first out. Beltre gave it a ride.
Well, if you want to get it out of here to right field as a right-handed hitter, you really got to put a charge into it. Looked like he might have got a little off the end of the bat, but gives it a ride almost to the warning track. Or let's see, Swish on the warning track. Yeah, he's on it. Middle of the warning track. They see it. They think it might have a chance. But no.
Strike to J.D. Drew. Count 1-1.
Well, of the now 8 batters that Chan-Ho's faced, all but 1 batter he got behind. And all of his pitches. Fastball, slider, curve, changeup.
Just missed outside.
You know, I think of right-handed hitters who go the opposite. You saw Alex Rodriguez in a highlight a little earlier. This one just missed the corner. Jim Rice is here tonight. You see him hit a few out opposite field for home runs here at Fenway.
David Robertson getting ready. Ground ball up the middle, a base hit for J.D. Drew. His first hit of the night. Red Sox 7th hit.
Just a pitch. Chan-Ho tried to come inside with his fastball, ended up leaving it middle. It's just enough to get it by a Robinson Cano who's playing slight pull. See that ball leak out over the plate. He was trying to come inside. Location.
Pitch to Cameron's outside. Winning runs at first base. That's J.D. Drew. Count 2-0.
Now, this is the first time that Parks had to work from the stretch here. Working from the windup to this point, sometimes it can throw you off.
Couple pitches, yeah, that's a good point, Kenny.
Up to this point, he'd retired everybody.
Just your the timing and the cadence and the delivery and the tempo, all that. Sometimes it does take a pitcher a couple pitches. Just missed with the first one. I thought it was a good breaking ball that Paul Schreiber, home plate umpire, called the ball.
Well, you could feel this one coming down to the bottom of the 9th inning. Guys up on the top step of the dugout. A little early season drama as Chan-Ho Park hits the inside corner for a strike. These two teams know they're going to be battling all year in the American League East. Who knows if it comes down to one game at the end. Every single game they meet almost counts as 2. Strike 2.
Nice way to fight back after falling behind 2 balls and no strikes. Took a little off that hook and got it in there, and you saw, watch Cameron's left knee. Yep.
Looking fastball, gets behind, and hitter's saying, okay, I'm going to get a heater out over, throws a slider, and then backs it up with a curveball. 2 good pitches.
Now what does he throw now?
I'll throw another breaking ball. Nope.
High fly ball, left field. Gardner in front of the monster. Puts it away. Used up a lot of real estate out there, but had about a foot to spare before the wall, so 2 away.
Well, there's a reason why Mike Cameron high strikeout totals every year generally tells me in a scout report he doesn't like the breaking ball. Curveball, 2 strikes. Most pitchers will throw off speed pitches buried in the zone, down in the dirt. This is a fastball, dangerous, misses middle up. Mike Cameron just missed that.
Just underneath it, didn't quite drive it. As Michael said, there's not that much real estate out there, but in left field, but they use it all up.
Now here's the pesky and sometimes dangerous Marco Scutaro. The Yankees have had their struggles with him throughout the years, and we talked yesterday about a game he ended in Oakland on 1 swing against Mariano Rivera. Actually got the only hit against Rivera in the 9th inning last night. J.D. Drew's at first, held there by Teixeira. Count 1-0. Good fastball strike, 93 miles an hour on the outside corner, and the count 1-1. Along with Ken Singleton and Al Leiter, I'm Michael Kay. You're watching Yankees baseball here on Yes. Damaso Marte warming in the bullpen in case there's a 10th inning. Or if this one gets extended and Girardi gets a little sweaty. Count 2-1.
You know, Joe Girardi and all managers go by the printouts, computer printouts and numbers. Chandler Park has good numbers against just about all the Red Sox hitters except for Pedroia, and he's only faced him once, and Pedroia hit a homer. That was in the first game of this series.
That one is drilled to left field, but right there is Gardner, and that's going to do it here in the bottom of the 9th inning. No runs are hit, no errors, and 1 man left. Bonus Cantos, free baseball. First time this year we go to the 10th. Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Jack Daniel's Tennessee Whiskey. Please drink responsibly. By J&R Music and Computer World. By Honda. Visit your Honda dealer during the Really Big Things sales event for special leases on all Honda cars and trucks. And by IOTV. IOTV offers you incredible HD picture and sound. HD is free with IOTV. Bottom third of the Yankee order against Papelbon. Curtis Granderson will start it off.
Kind of surprising Papelbon's out there for another inning?
Oh, only because they have an off day tomorrow, no. And I think the makeup of the Red Sox bullpen, Kenny, is a lot different than the Yankees. They have a lot of situational guys as opposed to starters that are now in the bullpen. The one that really just comes out is that Scott Atchison is a guy that could go multiple innings. Ramon Ramirez. But after that, they're just situations.
That one's driven deep to right field. There it goes. See ya. A home run, Curtis Granderson. And the Yankees take a 2-1 lead.
You know, I've always said in tight ball games, it's not a bad deal to have a power hitter up leading off an inning because pitchers do not want to walk them to get something going. Granderson hit 30 home runs last year for the Detroit Tigers, and he got a fastball up to his liking, and he jumped on it. Papelbon does not want to walk him, plus he has speed to steal bases. So he's going to get strikes to hit. And he got one that he liked an awful lot. And what he also did, he got Mariano Rivera up in the bullpen.
Second home run for Granderson in this series. Here's Nick Swisher. He's trying to make it 3-1 with a big cut.
That fastball trying to get in. And Kenny was saying you got a good fastball hitter, Granderson. Got all of it.
You know, I saw a note the other day, Michael. It's the first time in history that a world championship team acquired a guy who hit 30 home runs the year before. And Granderson with number 2, and it's right on time here in the 10th inning.
Good numbers against Papelbon. 3 for 10, which is 302 out of the 3 are home runs. You always want to do well early with a new team, and Granderson's certainly done that. Powered that fastball by Nick Swisher at 2-2. Strike 3. Swisher down looking.
You know, Swisher before that pitch, he's talking to himself and frustrated that he swung at the maybe high fastball. This is just perfect paint. And you're struggling in the sense of talking to yourself, and what really set that at bat was those 2 splits early on, and then the powered fastball he swung through.
So Granderson, 30 home runs last year, 20 on the road, and 10 at Comerica Park. So he has 2 on the road so far. Pitch to Gardner's inside.
Papelbon only gave up 5 home runs all last year in 68 innings of relief pitching.
Count 2-0. Gardner's 0 for 3 today, 3 ground balls. Count 2-1, taken all the way. 20 pitches so far for Papelbon. Last year, the Yankees lost their first 8 games to the Red Sox. They're 1-1 in 2 so far, trying to go 2-1. Count 3-1. And Derek Jeter's on deck.
Kenny, you'd asked me, was I surprised that Papelbon came in? I figured with 10 pitches in the off day. Were you surprised they brought him back in?
You know, I didn't know they had an off day. I think they're going to Kansas City on their off day tomorrow.
And Gardner walks, and now he's a threat to steal. Papelbon, as most hard throwers are, a little bit slow to the plate. So that could have been a walking double.
Let's see if he goes early in the count here. He doesn't want to get Jeter tied up with 2 strikes with a strikeout pitcher on the mound. You know, sometimes the difficulty of the runner to get back to the bag, and that was a pretty close play, a snap throw, is an indication that he's thinking about going. And that's when you see teams pitch out. See, he's diving to get back.
There he goes. Pitch out. Snap throw to first. Gardner just got back.
You know, managers read the throws at first base, and that will tell them if they should pitch out or not. Now, Gardner had difficulty getting back, and he's going, but he slipped. You know what? And for the Yankees, it's a good thing he did, because the Red Sox had pitched out. They had smelled that he was going, and it might be a good thing that he actually slipped and was able to get back to the bag.
Rob Drake, the first base umpire, had a great view of it.
You ever pitch out 2 times in a row, Al?
Yeah.
Jeter fights that off.
Especially with a guy like a Gardner, big-time green runner. I mean, he'll go at Eddie. There you go. See the stumble. No doubt about it. He knew he would have been dead.
Ooh.
The only reason he wasn't out is because he went the outfield side of first base and
missed the tag.
Douglas's arm just wasn't long enough. But the throw beat him.
Yep, he was thinking about going again. You can always tell the difficulty of getting back. You got to scramble just to beat the throw.
Jeter has not had much success against Papelbon. 3 for 14.
Was closer.
This is what Gardner brings to the game. He's going to upset pitchers. He's going to be on the defense mind. Got him on the back under the number 11. You got to pay attention every time he's on base, which takes some attention away from the hitter. Playing catch with Douglas.
Yeah. Throws over the first are not necessarily just to pick him off. If you get lucky, you might pick a runner off. But they also give you an indication of what he's thinking. That's my point. You know, if he's having trouble getting back, that might lead to a pitch out, and it did on the first pitch. I don't know if they're going to pitch out anymore, though, here.
Count now 1-2.
Well, there's no doubt about it. Brett Gardner's got speed for a guy that could steal 50, 60 bags. He's got the green light. So anytime he's on base, every pitcher knows that he's a threat to run 1 or 2 pitches into the at-bat.
Now that Papelbon and Red Sox are ahead on the count, that increases the odds of a pitch out to get Gardner if he's going to go.
You know, they talk about the wear and tear on a base stealer's body. Just diving into first like that, you're pounding your body over and over.
And sliding into second, they call it the fear of the bag. And that's, you imagine the wear and tear Ricky Henderson took over the career. He was a strong man, though.
Count 2-2.
Now we showed the shot before that Martinez took his hand, sliding on his right leg, and they gave the fastball then up. The sliding of his hand on the leg is wanting the pitcher to do a slide step, which is to shorten his leg kick.
Runner goes. Pitches inside. Throw to second. Not nearly in time. Great jump by Gardner.
You know what? He had enough throws over to first base to get a read on Papelbon. See that leg come up? That's what Al was talking about. High leg kick. There's no chance to get him. He's just too fast. The throw cannot get there in time to get him. There's the high leg kick.
Yeah. The slide step is generally you try as a right-handed pitcher to get the ball to home plate about 1.1 seconds.
Well, that wasn't a slide step, even if he called for it.
Yep. Yep. There's some pitchers that just can't. They cannot quicken their delivery because it'll alter their release point.
So now Gardner's in scoring position, and Jeter has a 3-2 count with Nick Johnson on deck. And Papelbon's pitch count is getting up there. 27 pitches. This will be number 28. And Jeter works a walk. Time now to take a look at the Land Rover drive of the game, as Terry Francona will give us time.
Yeah, we saw it leading off the inning here. Curtis Granderson. Boom, there it is. The Land Rover drive of the game puts the Yankees in the lead by a score of 2-1.
That drive and 2 walks have essentially knocked Papelbon out of the game. Francona goes to the bullpen.
8 pieces.
Well, fans, tonight after the postgame, the always outspoken Bill O'Reilly sits down for an all-new GMC Presents Center Stage with Michael Kay. From his controversial public persona on the screen to his personal life behind the scenes, the political pundit covers it all on an all-new Center Stage tonight after the postgame, only on Yes.
Got to stick around, so a long night together on Yes. It's not over here yet at Fenway as Nick Johnson comes on to face Scott Atchison. Pitch outside. So they took out Papelbon because the pitch count was getting too high, even with the off day. Those are Atchison's number. The last time was in the big league, 2007, but he pitched in Japan the last 2 years. Strike. Both teams trying to go 2-1 on the season. Mariano Rivera has had plenty of time to get warm. He got up as the ball off the bat of Granderson settled into the seats and right. Pickoff at second. Gardner's back.
When the Red Sox made the pitching change, Mariano actually sat down for a while. Now he's back up and trying to keep warm.
Looking ahead to the bottom of the 10th. Top of the Red Sox order against Mariano. Ellsbury, Pedroia, and Martinez if anybody gets on. Youkilis.
Nick Johnson just gives tough at bats every single time, takes a lot of pitches, really looking to keyhole the opposing pitcher. Gets in good counts.
Should get a pretty good one here. Well, maybe not. Maybe an even better one here.
Get an inner half fastball here, let it rip.
Did let it rip, but fouled it back.
What do you think? You start the runners here. You got the speediest Yankee at second. You know, you stay out of a double play. If Nick hits it on the ground, you might get a wild throw at third because Beltre's off the line at third. Nope, not going.
Check swing. Did he go? No, he did not. The bases loaded on 3 walks for the Yankees.
There's a check swing. No. What an eye of back control and balance. Nick Johnson's. You got to put it right over that 17 inches for him to swing.
He's walked 5 times in the 3 games.
Yeah, is that right?
Bases loaded. Mark Teixeira at the plate, looking for his first hit of the year. He has 2 walks tonight. Atchison deals. That one is chopped softly toward short. They only get 1 out on the nice scoop by Youkilis. A run scores. That's Gardner, and the Yankees now lead 3-1 as Jeter moves to third and Johnson to second. So an RBI for Teixeira.
Little chopper, and you can see Seguro was playing towards the back, so he has to go to his right. He only has 1 play. Almost threw it away.
What a nice scoop by Youkilis.
Well, he's been tested this series. Gardner scores it. Looks for now they're going to try. They're going to go after A-Rod with 2 outs and more runners in scoring position.
Pitch inside. On deck is Cano. Alex, no hits today. 0 for 4. Fly to center right. 5-4-3 double play and then a 5-3 ground out. And another ground ball is short. Scudero gets A-Rod, and that'll do it. But the Yankees take the lead here in the top of the 10. 2 runs on 1 hit and 2 men are left. The 1 hit was a big one. 1-1 game. Leading off, Granderson against Papelbon. Into the seats, the Yankees lead. Bottom of the 10th coming up. Yanks up by 2.
Toyota customers are extremely loyal.
Welcome back to Fenway Park, where the Yankees trying to win this 3-game set, 2-1. They lead 3-1, and they bring in their closer, Mariano Rivera. And Mariano closed their first win of the year last night.
And Mariano coming in the dreaded right field here at Fenway Park, and dominant as usual. Backdoor cutter that Ellsbury didn't like, and then this long slide ball to right field. Like I said, first save for Mariano in 2010.
And he's going to face the top of the order. Mariano trying to get a win for the Yankees, trying to get a win for Chano Park. Defensive change for the Yankees. They bring in Randy Wynn to play right field for Nick Swisher. There's Randy. Second time in as many nights they've done that. And Rivera deals. Missed with the cutter inside. 1-0. .44 saves last year, 72 strikeouts, and 66 1/3 innings pitched. Ground ball grabbed there by Teixeira, and he's going to beat Ellsbury to the bag, 1 away.
Well, Teixeira ranging to his right, showing his Gold Glove form on the backhand. A little slide. He says, I'll do it myself. And he beats Ellsbury to the bag by about 3 steps.
Could have been done either way. You saw Mariano getting off the mound quickly.
Yeah. 2 very good athletes on that play.
Yes.
Here's Dustin Pedroia, 1 for 3 with a walk, and also scored the Red Sox only run. That was in the 3rd inning. He doubled. 2 outs later, David Ortiz got his first hit of the year, an RBI single to right field. And a strike.
What a job Channel Park did.
Oh, it's about ready to jump out there. 1 base runner.
Very impressive.
In 3 innings. They go back to Dave Island. Can you give me one more?
Yep.
Well, what the Yankees are trying to do on 2 successive nights is give a combined 8 innings of shutout relief. 4 innings of scoreless ball last night. Andy Pettitte gave them 6 strong innings in his first start of the year, gave up 1 run, and then the bullpen came in. 3 innings for Chan-Ho Park, and now Mariano trying to lock it down here in the bottom of the 10th. With the count now 3-1. You don't want to put Pedroia on and then bring in Martinez as the tying run at the plate. And a strike.
Taken all the way.
Mariano only walked 12 last year, so it's odd that he would take on 3-1 because in all likelihood Rivera's going to throw a strike. Well, now he's going to be swinging. That time he swung at a ball.
He came in, that was cutter, and then he came in with the 2-seamer. At least the truer, straighter pitch. Let's see if this cuts a little bit. No, that's running in.
Remember, this is where he likes it, though.
Yeah.
Remember the home run he hit off Chan-Ho Park was up and in.
(3-2). Grounded to third. Alex Rodriguez deep at third. The long throw, and the Yankees are 1 out away.
That was a key man to get out. You didn't want him getting on with the power guys coming up, Victor Martinez in particular.
So the Yankees 1 out away from a series victory in their first series of the year, and it's all the more important because it's a series against the Red Sox, their longtime rivals, and it's on the road, and it's a year after they lost the first 8 games to the Red Sox. So yesterday they win 6-4. They're up 3-1 now in the bottom of the 10th inning, and Victor Martinez the last chance for the Red Sox with Kevin Youkilis on deck. Line drive and foul. Scalded that ball, but it hooked foul. Curtis Granderson, a big home run off Jonathan Papelbon, broke a 1-1 tie to open up the 10th inning.
Papelbon went and sat down in the Red Sox dugout. He hasn't moved from that spot.
Hoping for a rally, hoping for his team to bail him out. The 0-1. 1-1. Rivera was perfect in the postseason last year, helping the Yankees to their 27th world title. Had a great regular season. The 1-1 is a strike, 1-2.
This is the cutter coming in, ends up leaking actually out over the plate.
2 outs, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Crowd of 38,238 at Fenway, looking for something from Martinez. Rivera trying to nail it down. Fly ball left field. This should do it. Gardner makes the play, and the Yankees win 3-1 in 10 innings. So one of the newest Yankees, Curtis Granderson, with a big home run off Jonathan Papelbon, the Red Sox closer, gave the Yankees a 2-1 lead. They added one more for good measure, and after losing the first game of the season on Sunday night here at Fenway, they end up winning yesterday 6-4 and winning today 3-1. So again, the bullpen gives the Yankees 4 shutout innings. This time just 2 pitchers needed. 3 innings by Chan-Ho Park, and then Mariano Rivera picks up his second save of the year with a scoreless 10th inning as he retires the Red Sox in order. 1-2-3. 3-6-0 for the Yanks and 1-7-0 for the Red Sox. A relatively clean game. Good pitching by Andy Pettit. Good pitching by John Lackey, his first start for the Red Sox. But the bottom line, the Yankees pick up the victory, and one of the stars, Curtis Granderson, and he's with Kim Jones. Kimberly?
Thank you, Michael. Curtis, take us to your approach in that spot where a base runner will do. You come up with a home run.
You pretty much said it right there. I was just trying to go ahead and get on base. The situation presented itself in game 1 of this series, and we were right back at it again. Again, I'm just trying to get on base to continue to get the inning going because we got some great hitters coming up behind me, and sure enough, we were able to go ahead and score another run.
What'd you see from Papelbon? Now 3 for 10 in your career against him, but 2 of the 3 are home runs.
Just trying to just get a strikeout over the plate, something I can drive, just to really get on base. And I just happened to get a strike right down, somewhere in the zone to be able to go ahead and do something with it. But again, giving credit to the rest of the team to go ahead and get us another insurance run to bring it to our closer, Mariano.
You know you're one of the guys when Jabba heckles you on his way off the field, by the way. Summarize this first series as a Yankee for us. It happens to be against the Red Sox. Home run in your first at-bat and your last one.
What better way to start this season off with a new team, coming into Boston out of all the teams that we could play throughout the course of the season. Come here into the hostile environment and come away with the series victory.
There doesn't seem to be a struggle in this adjustment to New York with you, Curtis. You know that?
It's only been 3 games. We got a lot of them left to play. There's going to be some ups and some downs. Just got to keep grinding out and got to stay positive.
We thank you very much, Curtis.
Thank you.
Michael, he's got to do segment 2 more often.
I'm telling you, now we know that he likes Michael Jordan, and his favorite city is Minneapolis. So the bottom line is a really good first series for Curtis Granderson, thrown right into the fire. There were no baby steps, maybe against Kansas City. Yankees against the Red Sox. Home run his first time up, home run his last time up. We'll come back and wrap it up.
We went around surprise.
Great 5 days for the Yankees here in Boston. They get 2 victories after losing the first one, and a big play of the game. And it's brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance, and this is definitely the play of the game.
Leading off the 10th inning off of Papelbon. Home run, 2 home runs in 3 games for Curtis Granderson. 2 for 4. Game-winning hit. That is your Geico play of the game, Curtis Granderson.
Certainly nonplussed by the whole Yankee-Red Sox scene. Stick around for the post-game show to find out who's tonight's Chevy player of the game. So the Yankees in 10 innings beat the Red Sox 3-1, 3-6-0, beating 1-7-0. Park the win. Rivera his second save. Papelbon took the loss. Pettit was strong. So was Lackey. Granderson 2 for 4. The solo home run in the 10th inning. Coming up on the Yes Network, stay tuned for the WB Mason post-game show with Bob Lorenz, John Flaherty, Jack Curry, and Kimberly Jones. Special thanks to Senior Producer Bill Bolin, Coordinating Director John Moore, Vice President of Operations Ed Delaney, our Supervising Producer Woody Fryman, and the Executive Producer of the Yes Network is Mr. John J. Filippelli. Join us.
Great to have you with us on the WB Mason post-game. So what a great way to wrap up this 3-game series in Boston. 9-7 in the opener, 6-4 last night, and then 3-1 in this one. Good pitching, the hallmark, but one big swing of the bat, the deciding factor.
You're Curtis Granderson. You come in, you put on that Yankee uniform, you're part of the organization, but you're waiting for that one big moment where you're part of the team. You hit a go-ahead home run in the 10th inning against the Red Sox in Fenway Park. Curtis Granderson, you are now a Yankee.
Yeah, P.S. against Jonathan Papelbon, one of the toughest guys to do it against. But I mentioned the good pitching in this one. Joe Girardi in this one didn't really have to mix and match because of the great work of Chan-Ho Park.
I tell you what, Bob, when you look at what Park did tonight, we had great footage, which the guys talked about, with Dave Island asking him, as teammates are trying to congratulate Park after 2 innings, Island locked in on his eyes and said, "Can you give me another inning?" And for the Yankees to have the luxury of multiple pitchers in their bullpen who can give them something like 3 innings What Park did tonight was huge. What Flash said about Granderson, say that about Park, too. Nice Yankee moment for him, too, because the opener not so good with the Pedroia home run.
Yeah, now let's take a look at what Granderson did and how he put the Yankees ahead and allowed Mariano Rivera to pick up his second save in this series. Off Papelbon, there it is, an 0-1 pitch, and he jumped all over it. I mean, like he was ready for it, locked into it. That is his first shot right there. Big shot of this game as a Yankee, and then Mariano Rivera comes in 1-2-3 there in the bottom half of the 10th inning, gets Victor Martinez to fly out to Brett Gardner, and that's the way you wrap up, taking 2 of 3 at Fenway. This is a great way to start off as a Yankee. 4 for 12, the 2 homers, 3 runs, and if anybody through 3 games, Flash, is going to sit there and go, well, I didn't see what I wanted to see Granderson against lefties, you got to knock him upside the head because he had a great start here.
You know what, the fans, they always remember, what did you do against the Red Sox? Well, in 3 games, Curtis Granderson had a good series. 2 home runs. You're right, he maybe didn't look so great against the lefties at times, but he played a nice center field. He's showing you that power that you were excited about when you got him. And I think more importantly, going into Fenway Park, he showed up for the series.
It's probably the most uncomfortable place for a Yankee to play, Bob, and this guy goes out there and plays better than anybody. We saw a couple of tough at-bats against lefties, but he hung in there against lefties. He had 1 hit against John Lester, and then the 2 homers. What is he going to do when he gets to Yankee Stadium? You know, is it 30? Is it 35? Is it 40? How many homers can this guy hit this year?
All right, it's going to be interesting to find out, but right now we want to unveil tonight's Chevy player of the game, and the honor goes to Chan-Ho Park. Being a former starter pitching multiple innings is nothing new for the 36-year-old right-hander. After getting roughed up on opening night, as Jack alluded to, Park bounced back in his second appearance of the year with 3 scoreless innings of 1 hit, no-run baseball of relief behind Andy Pettitte. All right, now after the post-game show is over tonight, stay tuned to Yes for the premiere of GMC Presents Center Stage with Michael Kay. Bill O'Reilly, the New York native and host of the O'Reilly Factor, joins Michael to discuss a number of topics ranging from sports to his television career and, of course, politics. That's the premiere of GMC Presents Center Stage with Michael Kay, Bill O'Reilly, and it comes your way tonight right after the postgame only on Yes. We're going to take a quick break, but we have a lot more coming up here on the WB Mason postgame. We're going to get you back out to Fenway after this. We'll talk with Michael, Kenny, and Al, get their thoughts on this series finale. The skipper, what does he have to say about it? You're minutes away from finding out. And Kim Jones is in the clubhouse. She'll have more reaction from the players. It's all coming up after this.
The Yankees postgame show on Yes is presented by WB Mason. For office supplies at amazingly low prices.
The WB Mason postgame, the Yankees with a 3-1 win over the Red Sox tonight at Fenway. Let's get back there now for the Bigelow T postgame booth report with Michael, Ken, and Al. Guys, let's start with Curtis Granderson. We saw him talk to Kim Jones after the game. You know, little amped up, always pretty even keel, but you got to wonder what he's feeling inside, knowing the way he swung the bat tonight. That big home run helped the Yankees get the win.
Can I tell you one thing, Bob, before we talk about Curtis Granderson?
Sure.
I love KGB. It's a great, great thing. But if you got a text to see what year Bucky Dent hit that home run, stop.
Yeah.
Really, stop.
Exactly. You know, when he hit it, I almost ran off the road.
Anyway, about Granderson, you know, he's a great fit with the Yankees because he doesn't get rattled. I mean, he's very, very put together for a young man, and he's not in a position where he has to carry the team. Yeah. He's batting 7th. Yesterday against the left-hander, he was batting 9th. This guy could let himself grow, not really press, not try to do too much, Kenny, and he's going to do a good job.
And we saw he can turn around a fastball, too. It was kind of up, out over the plate, and it was in mid-90s. That's what Papelbon throws. But he had shown him one, so that gives a hitter a gauge. And then he threw the next one, and he got it in the wrong spot, and Granderson was right on top of it. And right on time, as far as I'm concerned. Nobody likes to play extra innings. We used to have a saying, we don't get paid for extra innings. Let's win the game now. So the Yankees winning the extra innings, they got it done quickly.
You know, there was a big joke in spring training, Al, because he hit 30 home runs last year and played 81 of his games in spacious Comerica Park. Well, maybe he's going to hit 40. And he said, no, I don't want you to have those expectations. I'd never hit 30 before. But this guy has a nice swing. And in this lineup, he's going to see pitches to hit.
You know, a few things, the reason why you like him. For one, he's a perfect fit for Yankee Stadium. And I think so important, whether a young player or a veteran like Granderson, when you come over the way he did in the trade, and then the talk of West to whether Damon would stay or not, and you know a group of fans wanting him to be back, it is important to know that you could start out and help your team in 3 games. He's got 2 home runs, a game winner, feeling good about yourself. I don't care if you play 20 years or 1 year. You want to feel good, and you're providing the addition to what you already know. I think it's going to be exciting. I think this guy at Yankee Stadium getting the fastballs, as you say, Kenny, down in the order, less pressure per se, was going to fit in nicely. 30 home runs, I think, is a nice number for him.
Yeah, Yankee fans also have a tendency to remember what you do against the Boston Red Sox, too.
By the way, Michael, I didn't want to interrupt you earlier, but to answer your question about texting KGB, the option was to give viewers your cell number and text you for the answer. Really? KGB is a much better place to go. 542-542. You get it done there. All right.
So many people have mine.
Now, in the meantime, I just want to ask you a follow-up about Curtis Granderson. We saw what he did at Fenway. He's going to take that down to the Trop in St. Pete for the 3-game series against the Rays. But you can't help but wonder, especially where he put that ball tonight, what that porch in right field at Yankee Stadium might mean to him.
You know what? You don't want to say it was built for it. And, Yankee Stadium played a little bit bigger toward the second half of last year, but he has that perfect swing. He's not going to go to left field that much. And against right-handed pitching, he's going to get that ball inside. Even he could hook a ball on the outside corner and hit it into the seats in Yankee Stadium. Now, last year, the splits were this. He had 30 home runs, 20 on the road, and 10 in Comerica. Well, I don't think he's only going to get 10 in Yankee Stadium. So if he does the 20 on the road again, you could actually go more than 30 for this guy.
I would like to see the spray chart on those home runs because I do believe that Yankee Stadium is fit for him. He's a pull hitter. He's a great fastball hitter, high fastball hitter, as we saw in both home runs that he had. The first game against Beck and then a great fastball against Papelbon. So I think the fit here is tremendous. But more than anything else, I think it's important that he, as a new player to a great franchise, gets off to a good start.
And one thing that Brian Cashman did when he acquired this guy, and Kenny, you can speak to this as well. Every guy he's brought in the last couple of years, he strategically placed them in the clubhouse. He knew that they were going to fit. This guy's a top quality guy, and he's not going to mess with anybody. He's not going to be a distraction at all. I don't think he's going to be at all affected by the New York scene, the New York media. This guy's a real good, solid citizen.
Well, he knows what he's doing. He's well-spoken. He's good with the press. You saw the interview on segment 2 with Kim Jones. He was excellent. Quick answers right away. I think also when in spring training, something was very telling for me. When the Yankees played the Detroit Tigers for the first time in spring training, his former manager, Jimmy Leyland, gave him a big hug, like it was his long-lost son. He's going to miss him. And I think that whenever we went to play the Tigers, he talked to the coaching staff at Detroit about Curtis Granderson. They all had positive things to say about him. And they're going to miss his presence on the team. And I think Yankee fans are going to like that he is a New York Yankee.
Hey, guys, you talked about the exchange between Island and Park, where Island said to him, hey, can you get another inning to us? How big of a relief do you think it was for Island that, yes, he could go back out there for another inning, and then also what he gave them and the luxury he gives them in being able to go extended innings like that?
Jack, I thought it was a big relief for him because he had to use so many pitchers yesterday. I don't think he wanted to go to Jabba again, although Jabba was available. But Jabba had pitched Sunday, and he pitched yesterday. He wanted to stay away from Aceves, who'd given them 2. Robertson was an option there, but why go righty-righty? I thought that was a big relief for the Yankees.
Yeah, he was dominating, and all his pitches were working. He was ahead in the count, very impressive. His velocity was touching in the low 90s. I think he may even hit a 94. So to have that, but I think when you think about the bullpen and the versatility, Alfredo Aceves and Chan-Ho Park, their ability to do
almost interchangeable
any part of the game. I mean, when you're a manager, you look at it, you say, okay, well, this one is a long man, and I don't know if he could get up in 8 pitches to get the next righty out. These guys can do that, and effectively, very effectively.
Guys, you talked about Jabba Chamberlain pitching the first 2 games in this series. If you would have told me tonight's game would have been tied 1-1 in the 8th or the 9th inning and Jabba would not be in there, I would have said you were crazy. But Joe Girardi seems like he's going to rest Jabba. He's going to really protect him. I was shocked he wasn't in this ballgame.
Well, I could see why you'd be shocked because he's going to be the 8th inning guy in close games, but I think it was also a product of how effective Chan-Ho Park was. And I also think that with an off day tomorrow, unless they really had to use him, again, 3rd game of the year, he had pitched twice. He had such a good feeling off that game last night. I guess they didn't want to push it. If they had to, they would. But the way Park was pitching, they didn't have to.
I think there's one other thing you have to consider, too, Michael. Not only to playing the Red Sox here, and you're going into another big series. You're playing another team that has a chance to win its division. You're going down to Tampa Bay to play the Rays, who won again tonight. They're 2-0. They're leading the division. They've won their first 2 games of the season. And this is a team you're going to have to prove that you can beat. They've already proved it to the Red Sox. They won 2 out of 3 here the hard way, losing the first one, coming back to win the next 2. And now they're going to Tampa Bay, where they'd like to win at least 2 out. You win series this early in the season just to get your momentum going. They'd like to come off this road trip 4-2 if they could.
Guys, one thing I just want to add about tonight's ball game, because we've talked extensively about Park and Granderson, and and we should have, but also what Andy Pettitte did, and the way he pitches against the Red Sox at Fenway. I mean, here's a guy who didn't get a lot of reps in spring training in terms of actual game action, but he comes into this one, and he kept it 1-0 when easily, he didn't have his best stuff. He could have gotten out of hand, but Pettitte just didn't let that happen.
And a real rocky start, literally, for him on that first play at first base. Yeah. Al mentioned how he really fell down hard. 37 years old, didn't have much time in spring training, but everybody I spoke to, Al, in spring training, Joe Girardi, Dave Island, they said of all of our pitchers, that's the one guy that we're not afraid of the fact that he didn't have a lot of time against major league hitters, because we know that he knows how to get ready. He proved it today.
Knows how to pitch, Michael. You're watching him today, and I think there are moments when you see, especially a veteran pitcher, where it looks like he's getting in trouble, and you say, "Oh, he's finding some bad moments." I believe that Andy Pettitte is good enough to identify when he gets in bad counts, and I think it was a Youkilis account where he got behind and he ended up throwing him a couple breaking balls, missed in a bad count. He was a 2-1, threw a curveball, went 3-1, and then looked like he was pitching around him. I think he was in a bad count and liked the better matchup, and I think that's the scenario that you get with Andy Pettitte, where even if he has one out, he could pitch around certain guys if he gets in bad counts and still get out of it. He had the good changeup. I liked his breaking ball, the two different breaking balls, locking guys up. I think of Mike Cameron, that hard slider to end the inning, a little check swing. Very impressive with his stuff.
And Bob, he would not have come back if he didn't think that he could still do it. Because what a perfect ending last year, going 4-0 in the postseason, including the clincher in Game 6 against the Phillies. But he wanted to come back because he knows that he could still do it.
Michael, Kenny, Al, great stuff tonight. Have a terrific night and safe travels to you. We'll see you again soon.
All right, thank you, guys.
All right, guys, before we get to break, once again, here's tonight's KGB trivia question. In what year did Bucky Dent hit his famous homer against the Red Sox? It was one of many moments in this great rivalry that has lived on forever. If you'd like to know, here's what you do. You text Bucky D, and you text it to 542-542. KGB will give you the answer. We'll take another break. Coming up next, we're going to hear from the skipper, Joe Girardi. Kim Jones in the clubhouse with Rick.
Just said he was just trying to get on base. How's he end up hitting that home run?
Well, we've talked about he does have power, and he has bat speed, and he has the ability to hit the ball out of the ballpark. But he also has the ability to get on and steal base, which he did tonight as well. But a huge hit for him and a huge hit for our club.
Did you learn a little about him this series, just with the way he started it, obviously that first at bat, and the way he won this one?
Well, I mean, we knew he was a great player, and that's why we went out and got him, and we were excited about getting Curtis Granderson, and we know that he can do a lot of things, and he plays a very good center field as well. But, he got thrown into it right away, and, he got a huge hit tonight. Swish got a huge hit in the 7th inning as well for us to tie that ball game up.
How pleased were you with Andy?
I thought he threw the ball great. First hitter didn't start off so great, and I was worried that, he hit his thrown pitching arm, but he said he, felt a little bit of whiplash, and it'll be interesting to see how he feels tomorrow.
A little extra hot tub time, or was he getting a lot of ribbing regardless of whether he felt whiplash?
Well, no, I mean, he ribs himself enough so that the guys don't really have to do it.
How about Chan-Ho Park? 3 bounce-back innings for you.
Great, and... we stayed away from yesterday because he didn't feel well, and he threw the ball great like he did all spring for us. And what we saw him do in Philly last year out of the bullpen. And our bullpen was a little short tonight because we, didn't necessarily want to use Jabba, didn't necessarily want to use Ace, and Chan-Ho stepped up for us.
You're always an adventure here, Joe, as you know, but to take 2 of 3 the way you did it first series of the season sets a nice tone, doesn't it?
It does. We talk about winning series, and after losing a tough one the first game, we play 3 2-run games here that tight the whole way, and it's good to win a series.
Joe, how big is it for new guys, Granderson, Park, to come in and contribute right away? Nick Johnson, is it important when you join a new team?
I think it can be, especially here in New York, because there's always so many expectations, and people want to compare you to the people that left. And we've told them all along, don't try to be Hideki Matsui, don't try to be Johnny Damon. We look at what we added, all the guys that we added, and that's including Javi Vasquez. And both of, Nick had a good series. I know he didn't get a hit. He hit the ball hard. He was on base the whole series for us. Great at bats, patient. You get an insurance run because he walks in the 10th. It's good for them to get off to a good start.
Joe, you can tell guys like Curtis not to put too much pressure on themselves, but really that kind of have to go through it. Can you see how he specifically reacts to something like that?
Well, I mean, so far he's reacted really well. And that can't be said about everyone who comes to New York. Your first month, your first 2 weeks, your first series. I know for me it was very difficult. You know, I tried to be something I wasn't, and the only thing I can tell them is just be yourself.
And once again, that was the manager's report, and it is brought to you, as always, by Geico. All right, Andy Pettitte, you heard the great words that Joe Girardi had to say about him tonight. Kept the Yankees in the game, really grinding out 6 innings of work. He gave up 6 hits, just 1 run, but it all started on kind of a tumbling moment there. The first batter of the game, Jacoby.